Hi everyone, please subscribe to my channel. Blood Immortal Venerable. See playlist for other chapters and novels. Join now our Telegram channel now and enjoy exclusive early access. t.me/blood_immortal_official. I do not translate the novels. Credits goes to original translator and author of the novel. I only make it as an audiobook so it would be easier to just listen while doing other things. Credits goes to the author of the novel. I convert stories to audiobook for mental health, for multitasking purpose, for accessibility and time saving. Listening to audiobook is also beneficial for people who have disability. It improves our listening skills and improve our English comprehension, vocabulary and other things. So, thank you for listening. Thank you and thank you very much for your support. Chapter 901 Counterattack against the Tianwo sect. The attack begins. Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin didn't even know that they were in the infinite immortality technique. They just knew that the two of them could not kill Yi Tian, so they quickly retreated, lest Yi Tian's support came, then they would not good to escape. Yi Tian didn't track them, after all, they were tracking them now, and they would definitely be able to find someone tracking them. Anyway, they were hit by the infinite immortality technique, and Yi Tian wanted to find them easily. When Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin left, Yi Tian looked at the direction where the two left and murmured, I thought it was an attack by the Dark God Society, but I didn't expect it to be an attack from the Tianwo sect. Could it be, the Tianwo sect is the mastermind behind the hired Dark God Society Tianjin to attack me? 1 inch. No matter whether this guess is right or not, there is no doubt that the Heavenly Fire sect is his enemy. He has seen Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin from a distance. The breath of the two is not what it is today. It has obviously changed their soul aura. If other people are here, they will not be able to find Liang Tianjin and Buying Tian at all. Your identity. It's a pity that they met Yi Tian and a dupe with copy talent. They ignored their soul chaos treasure, and directly understood their soul essence, and used copy talent to check their identities. 29 inches Tianwo sect. This is a force that is somewhat contradictory to the Zushan lineage. It has a Taoist ancestor and multiple true ancestors. It is also one of the great forces in the chaos. Although it is far inferior to the Zushan lineage, it is in some the territory is enough to compete with the Zushan lineage. Yi Tian muttered as he recalled the situation about the Tianwo sect. If the other party is a force that has a good relationship with Zushan, then the attack of these two people today may be a personal act, but there is a contradiction between Tianwo sect and Zushan, and for Yi Tian, today's attack belongs to Tianwo what the sect did. Tianwo sect, you are courting death. Yi Tian's killing intent was boiling. The Heavenly Fire sect in the chaos is a behemoth, he can't shake it at all, but the Heavenly Fire sect in the big universe is not very powerful, except for the two Heavenly Lords at the end of the Heavenly Lord list, other Heavenly Lords are not very powerful. If Tianwo sect dared to assassinate him, he would naturally dare to assassinate Tianwo sect. Moreover, if he assassinates others, others really don't want to find him. Without him, he would have a lot of chaotic supernatural powers and great supernatural powers, and many of them have not been exposed. Using those chaotic supernatural powers to kill people, it is difficult for Tianwo sect to know his identity. Don't be in a hurry to take revenge first, otherwise, the Skyfire sect can guess it, and after you go back, you will retreat for a period of time, and then take revenge on the Skyfire sect. Yi Tian muttered. Not long afterward, he returned to the Zushan temple and started a new round of retreat. The Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin who returned to the Tianwo sect still showed incredible expressions. They could not imagine that Yi Tian was so defiant. Not long after stepping into Tianjin, he practiced the Blood River Inextinguishable technique, and the Great Inextinguishability technique has been cultivated to the extreme level. In addition, Yi Tian's physique is also incomparably astonishing, and his recovery ability is terrifying. The combined effect is that Yi Tian is almost immortal. Aware of this, they didn't try to kill Yi Tian, because they couldn't kill at all. What should I do? Wanfa Daozi's life-saving ability is too heaven-defying, we can't do anything to him just by relying on those magical powers, unless we use the chaos treasure that specializes in capturing people, and cooperate with our strength, can we hope to trap him. Take it away, but if he can't kill it, he can completely inform others, and it will expose our existence. It is difficult to prepare to ban all the treasures of the communication. The price to pay is too high, and it may not be able to be collected. Liang Tianjin said. There is no other way, temporarily abandon the plan to assassinate Wanfa Daozi, and report the information about Wanfa Daozi, that's the only way to do it. Bai Ying Tianjin said helplessly. Liang Tianjin nodded. The two of them had already predicted that the future would definitely be difficult, and even the resources for cultivation would be deducted a lot. Even after leaving the universe in the future, the true ancestor would probably punish them. If they had known this earlier, they would not have targeted Yi Tian at all. In a flash, 100,000 years have passed. In such a long time, Yi Tian almost spent all his points and resources, and finally cultivated the 8th level of Xuanshu art to the Dacheng realm, and the Blood River Inextinguishable technique also entered the Xiaocheng realm, and the prototype of the avenue also 1500 meters away. This is his progress in 100,000 years. The strength has improved a lot, and it is very close to the strength of the last Tianjin on the Tianjin list. It is estimated that after practicing for tens of thousands of years, you can officially enter the Tianjin list. Yi Tian thought to himself. But he did not continue to practice in seclusion, because once he continued to practice and really entered the heavenly sovereign ranking, his strength was completely exposed. Now it's even better. Moreover, he also needs to take revenge on the heavenly fire sect, so it is necessary to hide his strength. This day, Yi Tian secretly left the Hall of Void Heaven and went to the territory where the heavenly fire sect was located. This territory was called the Skyfire Territory by the Heavenly Fire Sect, and its area was equivalent to the size of thousands of star territories in the past, but in today's universe, this area can only be regarded as a small territory. And the territory ruled by the Zushan Temple is equivalent to the size of several small universes in the past. There is no way, Tianwo sect does not have the top powerhouse in the territory. The strongest Tianjin is Liang Tianjin, ranking 912th on the Tianjin list. His strength is too weak, how can he be qualified to occupy too much territory? If it really competes with other top powers, Tianwo sect will definitely suffer greatly. Especially in today's era, assassinations and attacks are too normal. I don't know how many heavenly monarchs have fallen, so the heavenly fire sect naturally does not dare to be arrogant. Heavenly Fire Territory, Prison Flame Giant City. Yi Tian sneaked in here, and his goal was the city lord of the giant city of Prison Flames, Junyan Tianjin, whose cultivation level at the peak of the Destiny realm was 230. As for the chaotic supernatural powers, I have not mastered it. This kind of Tianjin is the most common Tianjin, and its strength exceeds that of the ordinary Heavenly Destiny realm peak Tianjin, but it is far inferior to the Tianjin list of Tianjin, and it is in the middle position. But this level of Heavenly Sovereign is actually the mainstay of a force. After all, the real Heavenly Sovereign list is the one who is intimidating, and must sit in the headquarters. If they all leave and are attacked by other forces, it will be completely troublesome. Prison Flame Giant City, City Lord's Mansion. Yuyan Tianjin was cultivating, and a sword light tore through it, pierced through all the formations, pierced the head of Yuyan Tianjin, and smashed the opponent. Shortly after, Liang Tianjin came here, observed the surrounding situation, and frowned. Chaos Supernatural Power, Yiki Guanyang Sword, ranked among the 3,000 supernatural powers. The Tianjin who has practiced this chaotic supernatural power is in the universe. There are a few people, but those people have no grudges against our Heavenly Fire sect. Why did they kill Heavenly Monarch Prison Yan? At first, Tianjin Liang thought that this assassination was just an accident. But in the days that followed, the heavenly monarchs under the Heavenly Fire sect were assassinated one by one, and there was no trace of the murderer. Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin even deliberately set traps, but they never encountered the unknown murderer once. Suddenly, the entire Heavenly Fire sect fell into a panic. Chapter 902 The Great Realm Moves. Who is it? Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin were extremely angry. During this time, the Heavenly Fire sect suffered heavy losses. More than a dozen heavenly sovereigns fell, as did many divine generals, and even one of the 7 stars divine generals was affected. The 7-star god general was with a heavenly monarch and was assassinated together. Of course, the loss of more than a dozen heavenly monarchs was only a small part of the entire Heavenly Fire sect, but the negative impact was too great. Nowadays, many heavenly sovereigns do not dare to be alone at all, and even hide in the headquarters, and Heavenly Fire sect's control over the surrounding territories has dropped several grades in an instant. More importantly, some vassal forces who had surrendered to the Heavenly Fire sect saw the situation of the Heavenly Fire sect, and they were ready to join other forces one by one. This was the biggest loss for the Heavenly Fire sect. The top of the Skyfire sect also relies heavily on those vassal forces. After all, finding resources, collecting resources, and operating some industries requires the help of these vassal forces. If they only rely on the Skyfire sect, how can there be so many people to manage such a huge territory? But now, the people of Tianwo sect are in a panic. Once this matter cannot be solved, the Tianwo sect will not be able to expand. I am afraid that even the door will not be able to go out. In the past, they could still calculate the identity of the enemy, but now it is impossible to calculate, so they don't know who the enemy is. As time passed, the assassination of the Heavenly Fire Sect Heavenly Sovereigns happened one after another, and most of the Heavenly Sovereigns who came back from outside were assassinated. Soon after, all the Heavenly Lords of the Heavenly Fire Sect huddled in the headquarters of the Heavenly Fire Sect. As for the other Heavenly Sovereigns scattered all over the great universe, those who dared to come back were basically dead, while the other Heavenly Sovereigns hid and did not dare to appear again at all. In short, Tianwuzong was afraid of being killed. At the same time, some forces at odds with the Heavenly Fire Sect began to eat into the Heavenly Fire Sect's territory and some mines and treasures, but the Heavenly Fire Sect did not dare to send out the Heavenly Monarchs at all, not even Liang Heavenly Monarch and Buying Heavenly Sovereign. They were afraid that if they came out, the enemy would attack the headquarters of Tianwo Sect. In that case, there would be many dead Heavenly Monarchs, and the foundation of Tianwo Sect in the universe would be completely finished. So, they held back. The Heavenly Fire Sect's forbearance made other forces even more arrogant. In just 1 year, 90% of the Heavenly Fire Sect's territory was swallowed up, and the Heavenly Fire Sect's god generals and earth lords were killed and injured countless times. For a time, the Tianwo sect could no longer maintain its reputation as a major force, and it became a medium force, and it was still a force that did not dare to step out of the sect headquarters. This day, Liang Tianjin took the initiative to contact the Dark God Association, and contacted the Dark God Association in his real identity. The Dark God Association arranged for Haida Tianjin to contact Liang Tianjin. Haida Tianjin, we want to know who is targeting Tianwo sect. If we find out, our Tianwo sect is willing to pay a huge price. Liang Tianjin asked. It's hard to find out. Haida Tianjin said. It's different now. The 10 true ancestors of the Dark Temple above us use the Dark Stone to block the big universe, let alone as little scoundrels in the realm of destiny. Even if it is passed down by Taoist ancestors, it is difficult to calculate the identity of the enemy. What will the Dark God do to help our Heavenly Fire sect? Liang Tianjin asked. Ha ha ha, why would the Dark God Society help the Skyfire sect? It's not good for us. And in a situation like your Heavenly Fire sect, I'm afraid it's difficult to give us enough benefits, right? Haida Tianjin said. Don't worry, we still have the background of Tianwo sect, and your Dark God Society can be said to be a rat crossing the street in the big universe. Don't say that many forces cooperate with you secretly, but it is only secret cooperation. On the bright side, if they knowing your position, I will definitely kill you. But if the Dark God will help our Skyfire sect, the Skyfire sect is willing to be an ally of your Dark God Society, and even willing to help you deal with any forces. How? Liang Tianjin said. Really? Haida Tianjin asked. It is not a trivial matter that Tianwo sect is willing to help them. If the matter is leaked, Tianwo sect will definitely be punished, and it is truly finished. Seriously, but only for the Heavenly Fire sect of the great universe. Liang Tianjin said. Yes, the Dark God will be willing to help your Heavenly Fire sect, but I still want to pay some expenses. Haida Tianjin said. Later, Liang Tianjin and Haida Tianjin discussed cooperation matters. How will the Dark God help us? Liang Tianjin asked. Haida Tianjin smiled and said, your Tianwo sect should be targeted by a Tianjin. This Tianjin is good at concealing assassination, and has used supernatural powers such as exploration. It is very difficult to find this kind of Tianjin. However, our Dark God Society is good at space ability. Almost every member of our Dark God Society has practiced a space supernatural power, and one of our Dark God Society's Heavenly Monarch has practiced the space chaotic supernatural power, Great Realm Movement, with the chaotic supernatural powers that move instantly between different worlds. The Heavenly Kings of Tianwo sect can carry a small world and leave the coordinates. Once something goes wrong, our Heavenly King will move over instantly. In the big universe, no matter if they are in cooperation, you can move instantly, regardless of distance. Great Realm Movement. The Dark God Society actually possesses this chaotic supernatural power. I heard that this chaotic supernatural power is not inherited. The only version is also incomplete supernatural power, so it is impossible to cultivate it. Liang Tianjin was extremely surprised. Asked. Ha ha ha, your low level is naturally unclear. The outside world has cut off the inheritance, but the Dark God Society has the inheritance. Because an ancient ancestor of the Dark God Temple will move the supernatural powers in the great world, and even ranked in the ancient times. In the top 100, it was called the Great Realm Removal at that time. Although it is only ranked 133 now, it is enough to prove the power of this chaotic supernatural power. The true ancestor of our Dark Temple has already cultivating this chaotic supernatural power to the perfect state can naturally create the inheritance of this chaotic supernatural power. Haida Tianjin explained. This is not a secret. Many major forces in the chaos are clear, but those who understand are basically powerful true monarchs and true ancestors. It is normal for Liang Tianjin to not know. But once the enemy takes action, our Heavenly Fire Sect's Heavenly Sovereign will definitely die. Even if your Dark God Society's Heavenly Sovereign moves over, it will be too late. Liang Heavenly Sovereign hesitated. Losing a Heavenly Sovereign in exchange for the enemy's life, Liang Heavenly Sovereign must be reluctant. You must know that your Heavenly Fire Sect has already lost a lot of Heavenly Sovereigns during this period of time, and you don't care if there is one less. Haida Heavenly Sovereign said coldly. Okay, I promise. Liang Tianjin answered the road and took it. Chapter 903 Identity Exposed. The Dark God Association and the Heavenly Fire Sect have united, which is an alliance in the true sense. The news has not been spread out, otherwise it will definitely cause uproar in the universe. And Yi Tian didn't know the news, he was still hiding in the territory near the Heavenly Fire Sect, investigating the news of the Heavenly Fire Sect's Heavenly Monarchs, but unfortunately he has not found a chance for a while. He didn't dare to enter the Skyfire Sect headquarters, otherwise, with his strength, he might not be able to escape. His life-saving ability is strong, but if he is really trapped, no matter how strong his life-saving means can only guarantee that he will not be killed, it does not mean that he cannot be sealed. And once it is sealed, and if the Heavenly Fire Sect uses the formation, it may be able to slowly grind him to death. Therefore, it is impossible for him to rush into the headquarters of others foolishly. It's still a little weaker. If I have the strength of senior brother Pengyu, I can directly enter the Skyfire Sect. Yi Tian murmured. He also thought about asking Pengyu Tianjin to take action, but he still dismissed the idea. He was able to ask senior brother Pengyu to protect him, because it was a reasonable request. After all, he was a Taoist of the Zushan lineage. If he was really in danger, it was normal to ask Pengyu Tianjin to protect him. But if Pengyu Tianjin was asked to kill, it would be equivalent to treating Pengyu Tianjin as a thug. No matter how good-tempered Pengyu Tianjin was, he would be very unhappy in his heart, and he might be willing to take action, but the relationship between the two would be gone. Moreover, this is his personal private matter, and he does not want others to interfere. The Heavenly Lord of the Heavenly Fire Sect actually came out. Yi Tian was very surprised. The news I just got, the 3 Heavenly Monarchs of Tianwo Sect came out of the headquarters of Tianwo Sect and went to 3 places to clean up the mess. A trap, Yi Tian guessed. Before, the Heavenly Fire Sect was forced to a very miserable level by other forces, and they did not send people over, but this time they did. If it was not a trap, it would not be very similar. Go and see, Yi Tian thought to himself. Anyway, he has the talent of copying and can detect the talent situation. Unless the people of the Tianwo sect have no talent, and they can't even detect their existence, they can't hide Yi Tian. Swish, Yi Tian shuttled back and forth, and soon came to a giant city of Tianwo sect Yuhuangchang, which was infiltrated by several forces and was in a very chaotic situation, and Tianwo Tianjin of Tianwo sect came here and was dealing with things here. Yi Tian came to Yuhuang city, covered the whole city with his copy talent, explored everyone's talent situation, and quickly locked on Tianjin Gelong. After a few minutes, CJFI, Yi Tian frowned. Judging from the investigation results, there were only 2 heavenly monarchs in this feather imperial city. One was the heavenly monarch Gelong, and the other was the heavenly monarch of other forces, who wanted to occupy the imperial city of Feather. Is not Heavenly Fire Sect heavenly sovereign, therefore is not Yi Tian's enemy. Tianwo Zong really only sent 1 heavenly monarch? Yi Tian was a little curious. He continued to investigate in the nearby area, and for half a month, he still could not find any trace of other heavenly sovereigns. Obviously, there are no other heavenly monarchs around here at all. I kill people very fast, even if there is an ambush in the Tianwo sect, don't try to ambush me. 1. Yi Tian thought to himself. Immediately, he began to assassinate. Tianjin Gelong was also very flustered. This time he was sent here as a helpless move. Although Tianjin Liang and Tianjin Buying told him that he had locked the enemy and gave him a life-saving thing, once the enemy attacked, he would help him, will come through immediately. His safety is very guaranteed, and there are 3 people on the mission this time, and he will not necessarily be attacked. And once the task is completed, the reward is very generous. In fact, if he had the right to choose, he would definitely be reluctant to take risks, but there was no way, as a member of the Tianwo sect, if he dared to refuse, he would have killed him without the enemy assassinating him. I hope the enemy will assassinate the other two heavenly monarchs, don't come to me. Gelong Tianjin was walking on the street, praying. Suddenly, a breath of despair came from him, and the surrounding time and space seemed to condense, and everything disappeared. At this moment, he knew that the attack was coming. Help me, come and save me. Goran Tianjin roared inwardly. However, the sword qi transformed into the Yang Jian Yang passed through Tianjin Gelong's body, killing him instantly. He never knew that the real helper was not ready to save him at all, because it was too late. Even if it doesn't take time to travel in the past, it can never catch up with Yi Tian's speed, unless the source hand is a true ancestor or a powerful true monarch who can hope to save him in time. Yi Tian killed Gelong Tianjin and was about to collect the resources and treasures on him when a wave of world fluctuations came. The speed of the arrival was very fast, and they came over in an instant. Moreover, Yi Tian discovered through space fluctuations that this person was traveling from a distant territory in an instant. This is not a simple space method, but a chaotic supernatural power, a space chaotic supernatural power of the shuttle type. The Great World Shuttle. Yi Tian subconsciously thought of this chaotic supernatural power. He also knows about 3,000 chaotic supernatural powers. Even if he has never seen most of them, he still understands the basic situation. There are only so many spatial chaotic supernatural powers, and there are not many famous spatial chaotic supernatural powers. The Great Realm Shuttle is very famous, and the Zushan lineage does not have the inheritance of this chaotic supernatural power, so Yi Tian often regrets it several times. Therefore, he was able to recognize the chaotic supernatural power of the Great World Shuttle at once. Walk. Yi Tian cast the sun-shifting technique in an instant and wanted to escape. However, the speed of the coming person was very fast, and the reaction was faster, and they chased and killed along the spatial fluctuation of Yi Tian's time and space transfer technique. Crack Sky Lord. Yi Tian used the copy talent to detect the heavenly monarch who was chasing him from the rear. It was the sky-splitting heavenly monarch, and according to his situation, this sky-splitting heavenly sovereign should also be one of the heavenly sovereigns of the Dark God Society, and his strength was very strong, ranked 311th on the Tianjin list, which is much stronger than Liang Tianjin and others. Puff. One of the great supernatural powers, the Great Tearing Technique, instantly slid through Yi Tian's body, but it did not tear Yi Tian's body, and was offset by the Great Immortality Technique in the Virtual Heaven body. You are the Daozi of Wanfa. Split Sky Tianjin also recognized Yi Tian. The Immortality Technique and the Time-Space Transfer Technique are clearly the standard of the Daozi of Wanfa, and the Dark God Society has already grasped this information. Knowing Yi Tian's identity, sky-splitting Tianjin stopped chasing and killing. He had to admit that he couldn't kill Yi Tian, and Yi Tian's space-time teleportation technique was very strong, it was only a little slower than him, and he couldn't help Yi Tian if he continued to chase. Sky-splitting Heavenly Lord is gone, Yi Tian is not going to stay here anymore. His identity is exposed, and if he continues to assassinate, it may cause the madness of the Skyfire sect to be exposed, and it will be bad to anger the human race at that time. Chapter 904 Rapid Improvement. Heavenly Fire Sect. Liang Tianjin took out the messenger, and an illusory image appeared, it was the Haida Tianjin. Haida Tianjin, our Tianwo sect's Gelong Tianjin has fallen. It must be the enemy who has made a move. How is the situation now, have you captured the enemy? Liang Tianjin asked. The mission failed, Haida Tianjin said. The person who does it is the Daozi of Wanfa, we can't kill it. What, is Wanfa Daozi? Liang Tianjin was surprised. Judging from the previous speculations, it should not be the Daozi. The mysterious enemy obviously has the chaos supernatural power, and at least one chaos supernatural power that can be probed, as well as a concealed chaos supernatural power. A heavenly sovereign can only practice one or two chaos supernatural powers at most, and heavenly sovereigns who can master 3 chaos magical powers are extremely rare, and the chaos supernatural powers exposed by Yi Tian before are not these at all. Therefore, they have never thought about the Daozi of Wan Dharma. Moreover, they have always thought that Yi Tian's life-saving means are powerful, but in fact his strength is not strong, and the strength of that mysterious enemy is second only to Tianjin Bang Tianjin. Can Wanfa Daozi have that power? It is indeed Daozi of Wanfa. Although even our Dark God Society is very reluctant to believe this, I have to say that Daozi of Wanfa is too talented. I am afraid that he has trained many chaotic supernatural powers, and his strength is infinitely close to the sky. The monarch's battle strength is up. Haida Tianjin Road. Wan Fa Daozi, why did he take action against our heavenly fire sect? Could it be that the last time we attacked him was exposed? Impossible, we concealed our identity and changed our soul aura, he may not know it. Lai Yong Tianjin said in a trance. We don't know that. Haida Tianjin shook his head. Later, Haida Tianjin cut off the communication. Bai Ying Tianjin on the side asked, Lai Yong, what should I do now? Daozi Wanfa must have known about our assassination. If Shu Tian intervened, the problem would be even more serious. HMPH, the Zushan lineage still dares to trouble us. Wanfa Daozi has assassinated so many of our heavenly monarchs and divine generals, so we should trouble him. When the news spreads, it is said that Wanfa Daozi assassinated many of our Tianwo sect. Tianjin, let Zushan give us an explanation, otherwise our Tianwo sect will never give up. Li Yong Tianjin said coldly. That's the only way to go. Bai Ying Tianjin nodded. Soon, a message spread in the big universe. When Wanfa Daozi assassinated the Tianjin of the Tianwo sect, the Zushan lineage must give the Tianwo sect an explanation. Hall of Fake Heaven. Yi Tian also knew the rumors from the outside world, so he asked Zushan Temple to help spread the news, saying that the Heavenly Fire sect and the Dark God would collude to assassinate him, and he took revenge. The news quickly spread. When Liyong Tianjin and Baiying Tianjin saw this big secret being exposed, they were very flustered, but they quickly calmed down, saying that it was Daozi Wanfa deliberately framed Tianwo sect. With more and more rumors, no one knows who to believe. This matter has come to an end here, but the reputation of Tianwo sect is completely stinky. Although no one believed the news of the collusion between Tianwo sect and Dark God Association, most people thought that Tianwo sect paid the price to ask Dark God Association to assassinate Wanfa Daozi, which is not a big deal. But Tianwuzong attacked Wanfa Daozi. This matter is basically a real hammer, otherwise why Wanfa Daozi assassinated the Tianjin of Tianwuzong. The major forces are not stupid, and naturally they will not believe some of the words of the Skyfire sect. If Tianwo sect killed Wanfa Daozi, it would be fine, and the major forces might be happy. But now, the Tianwo sect's assassination was unsuccessful, and he was assassinated. His face was lost, his power suffered heavy losses, and his reputation was also bad. But Yi Tian's reputation is getting louder and louder. It really caused a sensation in the big universe, and even some true ancestors outside the big universe valued Yi Tian, at least many powerful beings noticed Yi Tian's existence. But Yi Tian kept a low profile at this time, retreating and cultivating in Zushan Temple. In the blink of an eye, 100,000 years have passed. Gold-devouring magical powers have finally reached the realm of small achievement. Yi Tian's face was filled with joy, and he was quite excited. The gold-devouring supernatural power was a chaotic supernatural power that Yi Tian cultivated a long time ago. It was also obtained from the hands of the goddess Yunzi. It was ranked 121st among the 3,000 primordial supernatural powers. It was very good, but it was more resource-intensive. For so many years, he has been secretly collecting all kinds of rare ores and metals, and finally cultivated this chaos supernatural power to the realm of small success. The gold-devouring magical powers can be turned into armor to protect the whole body, and can also be used as a weapon. For example, Yi Tian now does not need weapons at all, and can completely use the gold-devouring magical powers to transform into a high-grade chaos treasure longsword. Moreover, the gold-devouring magical power can be used together with the defensive supernatural powers such as the Blood River Indestructible Technique, the Great Immortality Technique, and the Ji Yuan Yushin supernatural power to make one's own defense ability skyrocket. It can be said that Yi Tian's life-saving ability has reached a new level. It's a pity that there is still a lack of a powerful attack-type chaos supernatural power. For flowers, Yi Tian sighed. In order to save points, he bought relatively common chaotic supernatural powers, which were basically at the end of the 3,000 chaotic supernatural powers, and even some chaotic supernatural powers were not eligible to enter the ranks of the 3,000 chaotic supernatural powers. He has not cultivated any of the really powerful attack-type chaotic supernatural powers. Moreover, the cultivation conditions for those really powerful chaotic supernatural powers are very harsh, and very few people in the Zushan lineage have trained them, so there is no way to create a supernatural power inheritance. Therefore, this subsystem of Zushan's lineage does not have such a chaotic supernatural power inheritance, and Yi Tian has no way to learn it. There must be such a chaotic supernatural power inheritance in the Zushan Yimai headquarters in the chaos, but there is definitely no way to get it for a while. Let's improve other aspects first. The strength is strong, and then there is a chance to get those truly terrifying chaos divine ability. Point 0. Yi Tian muttered. Soon after, Yi Tian entered the heavenly sovereign ranking. This incident aroused the shock of all the forces, because Yi Tian entered the heavenly sovereign ranking for too short a time, and it was incredible to increase his strength so quickly. And many of those who competed with Yi Tian next to the gods are still gods, and they have really improved, such as the goddess Yunzi, who once suppressed Yi Tian, but so far in the late 8-star gods, the power of gods is nothing more than 8-star peak gods. Enter, but the sky is already a practice. The gap between the two has risen to a world of difference. After entering the heavenly sovereign ranking, Yi Tian felt a stronger cultivation increase than before, and the cultivation speed was faster than before. Nowadays, Yi Tian is not short of resources. After all, he killed so many heavenly monarchs in the heavenly fire sect, and he harvested a lot of resources, and there are many pieces of chaos treasures alone. With the passage of time, Yi Tian's Xuanshu art gradually rose to the 8th layer perfection realm, and all the chaotic supernatural powers were raised to the small achievement realm, but it was difficult to upgrade to the great achievement realm. As for the cultivation base, with Yi Tian's unremitting efforts, he finally reached the pinnacle of the destiny realm. And at this stage, Yi Tian's cultivation base can't be improved temporarily. If you want to improve your cultivation, the next step is the half-step true spirit realm. Yi Tian is not in a hurry either, his accumulation in the heavenly sovereign realm is far from enough, and naturally he will not attack the true spirit realm. Number 791 on the Tianjin list, my current strength is enough, Tianwo sect, our account can continue to be calculated. Yi Tian said coldly. Chapter 905 The White Eagle Heavenly Monarch has fallen. Yi Tian's strength has reached the 791st place on the heavenly sovereign ranking. This kind of strength is already very powerful, coupled with Yi Tian's incredible life-saving ability. If a non-true monarch exists, don't even think about killing Yi Tian. Now, there was a cloud of gloom in the Tianwo sect, especially the two people, Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin, were extremely frightened. What to do? Wanfa Daozi's strength is stronger than us, his speed is much faster than ours, plus his life-saving ability is very strong. If it is against Wanfa Daozi, we will probably die. Liang Tianjin very worried. Wanfa Daozi should not dare to kill our Tianwo sect. Bai Ying Tianjin whispered. Don't dare, he dared to kill him before he entered the heavenly sovereign ranking last time. He assassinated so many of our heavenly sovereigns. Do you think he would dare to kill us? Liang heavenly sovereign sighed. Would you like to send a heavenly monarch who is comparable to the top of the heavenly sovereign list into the universe? Buying Tianjin asked. 230, impossible. Liang Tianjin shook his head. The price to send Tianjin in now is too high. Our Tianwo sect is not as good as the Dark Temple, and we will not be willing to pay such a price. Besides, last time due to the matter of the Dark Temple, the major forces have strictly guarded this big universe, and it is not allowed to send Tianjin in privately. Then what should I do? I don't want to die. I am the heavenly sovereign list heavenly sovereign, in the chaos enough to inform a chaotic continent, how high the status is, and even hope to become the true ancestor in the future. Buying Tianjin said in a panic. Leave a clone here, let's hide and practice first. Liang Tianjin said solemnly. That's the only way. Tianjin Buying nodded in agreement. Immediately, the two of them separated a clone and stayed in the Tianwo sect. This avatar is only a temporary avatar, it needs the chaotic power to maintain, and there is no way to improve the strength is also very weak, it is only the strength of the 4 or 5-star gods, and it does not work at all. They left their clones just to confuse the rest of the heavenly fire sect, otherwise both of them would run away. Wouldn't the other heavenly sovereigns panic even more? The big universe is too big, Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin are not together, but spread out, each looking for a place, no one knows their location. Even Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin did not reveal their positions to each other, and they were afraid of revealing each other's positions. Tianjin Buying chose an uninhabited planet, hid in it, opened up a small world inside the planet, and began to practice and enlighten. As long as there are resources, there is no delay in comprehending and cultivating here, but it is not as fast as Heavenly Fire sect. Time passes year by year. One day 10 years later, Yi Tian came to this planet. Bai Ying Tianjin should be hiding in this uninhabited planet. Hehe, do you think it's safe to leave the Tianwo sect? You've been hit by my infinite immortality technique, so you don't want to escape from my pursuit. Yi Tian said coldly. Swish, one of the chaotic supernatural powers, the insight heavenly eye opened, Yi Tian instantly penetrated the void and saw the white eagle heavenly monarch in the center of the small world. After all, Bai Ying Tianjin is also a Tianjin list Tianjin, how powerful his perception is, he immediately knew that he had been discovered, and noticed the existence of Yi Tian. 1fa Daozi, how is it possible? Tianjin Buying was extremely shocked. He has never told anyone that he is here, even Liang Tianjin doesn't know his current position. And at this time, any deduction technique could not calculate the whereabouts of other people. He believed that no matter how proficient in deduction of supernatural powers Yi Tian was, he would not be able to calculate his position. How did I reveal it? Bai Ying Tianjin is very confused, but now is not the time to be confused, he must escape, otherwise he will not be able to survive at all. The prison of ice and fire. Yi Tian pointed to the void. An ice and fire prison covering the entire planet enveloped the Bai Ying Tianjin, and this ice and fire prison could shake the void, block this area, and make Bai Ying Tianjin unable to escape. Boom! In an instant, the planet turned to ashes, leaving only Tianjin Bai Ying alone. The ice and fire prison is just a general chaos supernatural power. Yi Tian did not focus on cultivating it, it is only at the entry level, there is no way to really trap Tianjin Bai Ying, but it can stop Tianjin Bai Ying. Wow! Tianjin Bai Ying turned into a white giant eagle, a terrifying giant eagle that is far larger than the planet and soars in the void, a pair of wings lightly shaken, instantly shattering Yi Tian's ice and fire prison. At this time, Yi Tian's real attack came. Gold devouring magical powers, turning into knives. The seventh form of the heavenly saber, Zushin Slash. Extreme swordsmanship. The gold devouring supernatural power turned into a long sword, which slashed through the void, and the seventh style virtual sky slash of the heavenly saber, which contained the blessing of the chaotic supernatural power of the extreme saber, fell, blocking all directions around Bai Ying Tianjin. The seventh form of the celestial sword is a move recently created by Yi Tian, which makes full use of the characteristics of the illusory body and the understanding of the way of the sword, and can also be combined with the supernatural power of the sword to exert terrifying power. The power of this blow is far beyond the imagination of Tianjin Bai Ying. Shout out! The giant eagle that Bai Ying Tianjin transformed into was torn apart by a huge hole, which almost cut off his entire body. In addition, the terrifying sword energy continued to erode Bai Ying Tianjin's body, making it difficult for him to recover from his injuries. Wanfa Daozi, don't kill us, there is no major enmity between us at all, I am willing to pay the price to buy my life. Bai Ying Tianjin said quickly. Impossible, from the day you assassinated me, you are my enemy. Yi Tian said coldly. Puff puff. Dao Qi kept slashing out, and Bai Ying Tianjin was hit hard again and again. Bai Ying Tianjin wanted to escape, but Yi Tian knew how to move time and space and cultivated to the realm of small success. This was the 21st most powerful supernatural power in the chaos supernatural powers. In terms of speed, the other chaos supernatural powers were his younger brothers. Unless Tianjin Bai Ying will move the world, there is no hope of escaping. Great Realm Shift is not helpful in battle, but in terms of escape, Time and Space Shift is not as good as Great Realm Shift. After all, time and space teleportation is more about helping fight and chasing down enemies, while Great Realm Teleportation is a chaotic supernatural power for rushing and escaping. 1fa Daozi, I am a descendant of the Chaos Tianpeng lineage. Our Chaos Tianpeng lineage has a large number of true ancestors, and there is even an invincible true ancestor. Do you really want to kill me? Bai Yingtian roared. His words are undoubtedly deliberately bluffing. The Chaos Tianpeng family is very strong, but by 5.8 Ying Tianjin only has a weak bloodline. A Taoist ancestor. He saw that Yi Tian was a native creature of the great cosmos, and his knowledge was not high. He wanted to threaten Yi Tian. If Yi Tian really let him go, even if he knew the truth in the future, he would not be able to find him. But he didn't care about his identity at all. Even if Tianjin Bai Ying was the son of Daozu, he would kill him. As a direct disciple of Zushin Daozu, and he is also a highly valued direct disciple, is he afraid of threats from others? Die. The last knife pierced through Bai Ying Tianjin's body, completely shattering the last trace of his vitality. Ancestral Monument. On the Tianjin list, the name belonging to Bai Ying Tianjin disappeared. At this moment, many major forces have learned that Tianjin Bai Ying has fallen. Chapter 906 Never Put Out Fire. The fall of Bai Ying Tianjin made the people of Tianwo sect fall into complete chaos, and also let the Tianjin and gods of Tianwo sect know that Liang Tianjin and Bai Ying Tianjin had already left Tianwo sect and stayed in Tianwo sect. It's just the avatar. For a time, many heavenly sovereigns and god generals fled the heavenly fire sect and did not dare to stay here any longer. In case Yi Tian directly kills the heavenly fire sect, they are like ants and can't stop it at all. Moreover, they have no grudge against Yi Tian. Maybe they escaped from the Heavenly Fire sect, Yi Tian would not go after them at all. Under such circumstances, the Heavenly Fire sect completely disintegrated. But Liang Tianjin, who was hiding somewhere in the universe, was extremely frightened. He was too frightened. He knew that Tianjin Buying was hiding in secret, but he was found and killed by Yi Tian. What about him? Wanfa Daozi will definitely not find me. I will definitely not find it. Liang Tianjin muttered. He hid in the depths of a starry sky continent, and used various formations to hide his whereabouts, completely covering his breath, and changing his soul aura. The soul-like chaos treasure was on him. After all the means were arranged, Liang Tianjin breathed a sigh of relief. In his opinion, even if the true ancestor comes, don't even think about finding him. But in the dark, he still has a trace of worry. Unexpected. A terrifying sword strike came, directly destroying the formations he arranged one by one. Then, a familiar figure appeared in his sight. Wanfa Daozi, it's impossible, I have arranged so many methods, and even changed my soul aura, how could you find me? Liang Tianjin couldn't believe it. After a few minutes, Liang Tianjin fell, and he didn't know how Yi Tian found him from beginning to end. Yi Tian didn't say, he didn't want Liang Tianjin to die with the truth. If Liang Tianjin leaked his secret before his death, wouldn't he lose a whole card? The less people know about the infinite immortality technique, the better. Although he also knows that this secret cannot be kept forever, there are many people who may be able to crack the infinite imitation survival technique in the chaos, but they can perceive the infinite imitation survival technique, are definitely not in the minority. For example, some powerful true monarchs, some peerless geniuses with special abilities, and so on. However, Yi Tian's killing of Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin was leaked. This is what Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin leaked out through their clones before they died. Yi Tian couldn't stop it, unless he could kill Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin in an instant. But he obviously can't do it. As soon as Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin died, the Tianwo sect was considered dead in name only. Unless the next batch of strong people from the Tianwo sect re-entered the universe, the name of the Tianwo sect would no longer exist in this era. Shortly after, several major forces invaded the headquarters of Tianwo sect, completely destroyed Tianwo sect, and many resources of Tianwo sect were also divided up. The territory of the Tianwo sect was also completely divided up and occupied by several major forces. Hall of Fake Heaven, Yi Tian is back. This time he went out and killed 2 heavenly lords, and the harvest was extremely rich. Liang Tianjin and Buying Tianjin did not have many cultivation resources, but there were a lot of other resources, such as some weapons, esoteric inheritance, rare materials, etc. Yi Tian converted most of the things into the resources he needed, and the whole person became rich again. Among these treasures, Yi Tian is more satisfied with 2 pieces. One is the soul chaos treasure called the ever-changing magic mirror, which can change the soul's breath and defend against soul attacks. The value is comparable to a top chaos treasure, or even worth no less than halfway. The second treasure is an inheritance, the inheritance of chaotic supernatural powers. Never put out fire. This is a very powerful chaotic supernatural power, and it is an attack-type chaotic supernatural power, ranking 25th in the chaotic supernatural power. Eternal immortality contains the eternal avenue and the avenue of fire, and nothing is immortal. Once it is hit with immortality, if there is no way to extinguish it, it will continue to burn until the body and soul are burned. The ever-changing illusion and the inheritance of eternal immortality all come from Liang Tianjin, and Liang Tianjin is also walking on the road of fire, and it is estimated that he also wants to practice immortality. It's a pity that Tianjin Liang does not meet the cultivation conditions, otherwise he will be able to practice this chaotic supernatural power, and he is even expected to hit the top of the Tianjin list. But now it's cheaper Yi Tian. It just happened to lack the attacking chaotic supernatural power of the finale, and eternal unextinguishing rank the 25th chaotic supernatural power, which is very suitable for me. Yi Tian was quite excited. This is a chaotic supernatural power that is not even available in the Void Heaven Palace. If it is converted by points, this chaotic supernatural power is worth at least 500,000 points, or even more. In the Hall of Void Heaven, the chaotic supernatural powers in the 2000 or so need thousands of points, the chaotic supernatural powers in the top 100 need at least 10,000 points, and the chaotic supernatural powers in the top 50 need at least tens of thousands of points. And the chaotic supernatural powers in the top 30 are definitely more than hundreds of thousands of points, or even more. As for the chaotic supernatural powers of the previous few, it is simply too high, and even dare not expect, if it is measured by points, there are not millions of points or even tens of millions of points. Yi Tian didn't expect that kind of chaotic supernatural power, and he was extremely lucky to be able to obtain such a powerful chaotic supernatural power as Eternal Unextinguishing 230. The Eternal Flame requires the help of top innate sources such as the Eternal Flame to cultivate. The talent problem is not a problem for me. I only need to find the Eternal Flame to start cultivation. Yi Tian secretly said. Eternal Flame is very rare, and Yi Tian has not found this kind of treasure in the system of Zushan Temple. In desperation, Yi Tian had to dispel the idea of cultivating eternal fire. After all, even if he found the Eternal Flame, he was not necessarily qualified to trade. According to his understanding, the top-level innate source objects such as Eternal Flame are very versatile, and their value is many times higher than that of high-level innate source objects. If measured by virtual sky points, it is definitely above 1 million points. With Yi Tian's current wealth, it cannot be exchanged at all. If he collects it now, he can only collect 700,000 to 800,000 points, and many things cannot be traded, and they are all treasures that are very useful to him. Practice. Practice. Yi Tian fell into the madness of cultivation, constantly improving his strength. The stronger the strength, the more treasures can be harvested, and the hope of getting the Eternal Flame. And just like that, millions of years have passed. Chapter 907. Take another shot, kill 2 heavenly monarchs in a row. Resources are almost exhausted. 1. Yi Tian sighed deeply. At his level, cultivation requires too many resources, far from being comparable to that of a heavenly monarch. Moreover, his cultivation speed is fast, and there are many things that need to be improved, which consumes resources. The speed is unmatched by others. It's no wonder that Pengyu Tianjin and other Tianjin also lack virtual sky points. Yi Tian muttered. After millions of years of ascetic cultivation, his strength has improved a lot, far exceeding the original. The Blood River Inextinguishable technique is complete, the Extreme Sword supernatural power is complete, the time-space teleportation technique is small, and the 9th level entry pinnacle, the prototype of the avenue, has traveled more than 5,000 meters. At this time, Yi Tian was already ranked 102nd on the Heavenly Sovereign ranking. This level is already very powerful, and the other heavenly monarchs around this level have basically mastered a chaotic supernatural power of perfection, and they have also raised their physical bodies to the limit level, which is very powerful in all aspects. Although Yi Tian is inferior to those heavenly sovereigns in some respects, his foundation is too strong, so his combat power is incomparably terrifying. Of course, Yi Tian mainly did not have a really powerful attacking chaotic supernatural power, otherwise his ranking on the heavenly sovereign ranking would have already rushed into the top 100. However, Yi Tian is almost immortal, and other heavenly sovereigns can't kill him at all. If he fights with him for a long time, no matter how strong heavenly sovereigns are, he will grind them to death. Haida Tianjin, Split Sky Tianjin, it's your turn. Yi Tian said coldly. The Dark God will assassinate him, he still has not forgotten it. The reason why he did not take action against the Dark God is because he does not want to scare the snake. Moreover, his strength was very weak before, so the assassination may not be successful. What's more important is that Sky-Splitting Tianjin possesses the chaotic supernatural ability to move the great world. Once he kills Sky-Splitting Lord with one hit, then Sky-Splitting Tianjin will escape. The Great Realm movement is known as the strongest escape supernatural power. Unless the 2 chaotic supernatural powers, the Destiny Disintegration Technique and the Primal Curse Technique are used, and the strength is far beyond that of the Sky-Splitting King, it is possible to kill the Sky-Splitting King regardless of the distance. But these 2 chaotic supernatural power inheritances are very rare, and there is no Zushan lineage, so Yi Tian naturally has no place to learn. Kill Haida Tianjin first. Yi Tian decided. Haida Tianjin's strength is slightly weaker, and his life-saving ability is even worse, far less than Split Sky Tianjin. If he kills Haida Tianjin, there is almost no possibility of failure. Haida Tianjin has been living very uncomfortable during this period of time, and his status in the Dark God Society has dropped again and again. Originally, with his strength, he could only rank outside the top 10 in the Dark God Society, but because of his high intelligence, he is a military figure. His arrangement. But now, he has failed 2 missions in a row. One was to assassinate Yi Tian, and he was informed of failure. One was to form an alliance with Tianwo sect. As a result, Tianwo sect was finished, and the alliance was naturally broken, and he also made Zushan Temple hate them, and several plans were destroyed by Zushan Temple. After 2 failures, he naturally took the blame. If he is strong, even if the 2 missions fail, it is nothing. But the key point is that his strength is not good, and a command error is a major mistake, so his status has dropped a lot. This time, he was assigned by the Dark God Society to go to the demon race to pick up a demon race genius. That demon race genius showed great talent and was qualified to become a reserve member of the Dark God Society. Once the win is successful, his status will naturally improve. Just as he was about to arrive at the demon race territory, a terrifying sword slash came. Not good. Haida Tianjin was extremely frightened, and before he made any move, his entire body completely lost its vitality and turned into a corpse lying across the starry sky. After Haida Tianjin fell, a figure appeared next to the body of Haida Tianjin. This person was Yi Tian. Yi Tian took away the treasure on Haida Tianjin and moved it away. Next, Sky Splitter, the headquarters of the Dark God Society. After the fall of Haida Tianjin, all the Tianjins at the headquarters knew about it. Haida Tianjin has fallen. Didn't that guy from Haida go to the demon race? The demon race is only a native race, and its strength is very weak. There are only a few weak heavenly sovereigns. Those heavenly sovereigns are not even as good as some powerful gods. What happened to that fellow Haida? Will it fall on the way to the demon race? It should have been killed by someone else, but the whereabouts of Haida will not be exposed. Who will kill him? Investigate it immediately. Our Dark God Society can only assassinate others, and now there are people who dare to assassinate our Dark God Society's heavenly monarch. After all, Haida is the heavenly sovereign list, and it is even expected to become the true ancestor in the future. It's a huge loss for our Dark God Society and even the Dark God Temple. Let Tianjin investigate him. His life-saving means are very strong. As long as he is not killed by a single blow, no one at the level of Tianjin can kill him. Afterwards, Split Sky Tianjin received an order to investigate the fall of Haida Tianjin. Soon, Sky-splitting Tianjin came to the place where Haida Tianjin fell. 1 hit kills. Sky-splitting Tianjin was surprised. Judging from the surrounding traces, Haida Tianjin was instantly killed by the enemy. Although the Haida Tianjin is not strong, he is still a Tianjin on the Tianjin list. The person who can kill the Haida Tianjin must be the Tianjin at the top of the Tianjin list, and he must be in the top 300 of the Tianjin list. Who is it? Crack Sky Tianjin is guessing. At this time, he panicked in his heart, and a sense of crisis came. The next moment, the space was blocked. The prototype of an avenue with a width of more than 10,000 meters and a length of more than 5,000 meters came, and the power of the avenues manifested, as if it could suppress everything. How can there be so many avenues? Splitting the sky and Tianjin shock ratio. He didn't dare to stay here, and in an instant, he cast Great Realm Shift and wanted to escape. However, the space blockade coupled with the power of the endless avenue, it was a sneak attack, which made sky-splitting Tianjin a little slower. But this is a little slower, so that sky-splitting Tianjin completely lost the possibility of escape. Good. Swish. A figure appeared, holding a long sword that was transformed into a gold-devouring supernatural power, burning nearly half of the power to cut out the strongest sword. Shout out. This knife directly cut sky-splitting heavenly monarch into 2 pieces, and one of his body was teleported away under the instinctive operation of the Great World Movement. A small world somewhere in the universe. The sky-splitting heavenly monarch, who was only half of his body, was teleported here, but his eyes had already lost their luster. Yi Tian's knife directly cut off his vitality and soul, and has completely died. Soon, Yi Tian found this small world with the space fluctuations and the connection between the 2 bodies of Split Sky Tianjin. If sky-splitting Tianjin was still alive, he could easily erase the traces, making Yi Tian unable to find them, but when sky-splitting Tianjin died, there was no way to erase the traces, so Yi Tian found them. As soon as Tianjin splitting sky died, all the treasures on his body fell into Yi Tian's hands. Chapter 908 Taiya Sunstar appears. Yi Tian didn't stay here and left quickly. At the same time, the Dark God will be furious. It's okay if Haida Tianjin is dead, but sky-splitting Tianjin is different. He is a Tianjin who has trained to move the world, and he also reached the peak of the 8-star general at the level of the gods, although he is not a 9-star general. The heavenly sovereign who has been promoted up, but only the fact that the great realm is moved is enough to make the sky-splitting heavenly sovereign one of the most terrifying heavenly sovereigns. Moreover, Sky Splitter can come and go freely in the big universe. He is a very important member of the Dark God Society and a genius of assassination. As long as there is Sky Splitter, the members of the Dark God Society can easily travel around the universe without spending any time, and many actions can be quickly retreated. Once Sky-Splitting Heavenly Monarch dies, the Dark God Society will directly abolish 1/3, which is not an exaggeration at all. After all, a Heavenly Monarch who has been trained to move the great world is not so easy to be born. What makes the Dark God even more angry is that Sky Splitter Tianjin has the inheritance of the Great World Movement, and he can also inherit it once. This is the inheritance of Sky-Splitting Tianjin himself, which has been carried by Sky-Splitting Tianjin. Now that Sky-Splitting Tianjin has fallen, this inheritance is also lost and fell into the hands of the enemy. The Great Realm Movement inheritance is only preserved in the hands of a few forces, and the Dark Temple is one of them. It is conceivable how precious this inheritance is. If they had known this earlier, they would definitely let Sky-Splitter Tianjin transfer the Great Realm to the headquarters of the Dark God Society. Unfortunately, regret is useless. This is. When Yi Tian sorted out the inheritance of Haida Tianjin and Split Sky Tianjin, he found an inheritance of chaos magical powers. If it was a general chaotic supernatural power inheritance, Yi Tian naturally didn't care. But this chaotic supernatural power inheritance contains a strong atmosphere of Space Avenue. It is a space chaotic supernatural power inheritance. This inheritance comes from Kai Tianjin. Could it be that the Great Realm moved? Yi Tian's heart moved. If this is the case, then he will make a lot of money. Immediately, Yi Tian checked the inheritance. It really is the inheritance of the Great World, and it can be inherited once. Yi Tian said excitedly. The Great Realm Movement may not be able to improve his strength, but it makes his life-saving ability rise to a new level in an instant. Now he seems to be immortal, and no one among the Heavenly Monarchs can kill him, but in fact it is not true that no one can kill him. For example, if some Heavenly Monarchs cooperate, trap his body, control his soul, and keep grinding him to death, he will still die. But if he has practiced the Great Realm Movement, the Heavenly Monarch level can hardly interrupt the Great Realm Movement. With Yi Tian's life-saving means, no one can instantly kill him, so he can easily use the Great Realm Movement to escape. Even some true monarchs could not kill Yi Tian in seconds. Yi Tian could completely escape from true monarchs. This is the real lifesaver. If you want to practice the movement of the great world, you must have a super god level space-time talent. I already have it. In addition, I need the Heavenly World Stone. This thing is relatively expensive, and it can also be exchanged in the virtual system, but it requires 1 million points. 1. Yi Tian muttered. 1 million points is a lot, but Yi Tian beheaded Haida Tianjin and Split Sky Tianjin this time, and the two of them were extremely wealthy. By exchanging some unnecessary treasures, they should be able to collect 1 million points. So, Yi Tian returned to the Zushan Temple and began to find some Tianjin to trade, and the things that could not be traded were directly traded to the Zushan system. In just half a month, Yi Tian finally collected 1 million points and successfully exchanged for a Heavenly Dao Boundary Stone. As soon as the Heavenly Dao Boundary Stone was in hand, Yi Tian began to practice the Great Boundary Movement. Great realm shifting is more difficult to cultivate, far surpassing other supernatural powers. Even though Yi Tian's comprehension has been improved many times, and he is assisted by his transcendental talent, it still took tens of thousands of years to cultivate it. After the Great Realm Movement was completed, Yi Tian breathed a sigh of relief. With the current CJFI Cosmos situation, he really doesn't need to worry at all. Even if the enemy is good at soul methods, there is no way to annihilate his soul with a single blow. The perfect Void Heaven Dao body brought him not only a powerful body, but also a soul that was close to the immortal realm. Others might be able to re-inflict his soul, but they couldn't annihilate his soul. The next goal is the Eternal Flame. I don't know where there is the Eternal Flame. Yi Tian secretly said. According to his understanding, the Eternal Flame was born in the sun, but it is not an ordinary sun. Under normal circumstances, it is impossible for the sun of the general universe to give birth to eternal flames, and there are also suns and stars in the chaos, but they are basically in some chaotic worlds. Of course, billions of chaotic worlds may be able to give birth to eternal flames, and it will take a long time to evolve. Once the eternal flame appears, I don't know how many heavenly monarchs and true monarchs will fight for it. After all, the eternal flame is very precious, and it is difficult to measure the value for those who need it. Over the years, Yi Tian has been inquiring about the information of the Eternal Flame, and many heavenly monarchs in the Hall of Void Heaven know about it, but they also do not have the Eternal Flame. This day, Yi Tian finally learned about the Eternal Flame from a heavenly monarch. Tai Sun Star may have given birth to the Eternal Flame. Yi Tian was surprised when he heard the news. At this time, the news had already spread in a small area, and many powerful heavenly sovereigns had passed, but some weak heavenly sovereigns did not dare to go, otherwise they would be easily killed. After all, it has become the battlefield of the heavenly kings. Of course, so many heavenly monarchs went to Taya Sun Star not entirely for the eternal flame, but also for other treasures. The Taya Sun Star gave birth to many treasures of the solar system, and even gave birth to an innate sun tree, which is the tree of innate origin, and is of high value, especially for the Tianjin who walks the road of the sun. This alone as a congenital sun tree is very valuable. Pengyu Tianjin and the others have passed, but they didn't notify me. Yi Tian knew about this and was not angry. In the past, when he was still weak, Pengyu Tianjin would take care of him and even share some things with him. That was because he did not threaten Pengyu Tianjin and everyone was not a competitor. But now that he is close to the top 100 Tianjin on the Tianjin list, Pengyu Tianjin will naturally not inform him of the specific situation, otherwise there will be one more competitor and there will be fewer opportunities to snatch treasures. As for cooperation, Pengyu Tianjin can cooperate completely, there is no need to find it. Moreover, his status was too high, and Pengyu Tianjin did not dare to cooperate with him, otherwise, it would not be easy to distribute the treasures when dividing them up. I'll go too, maybe there really is eternal flame. Yi Tian thought to himself. Chapter 909 Jiang Star Flower First Update. Tai Sun Star. Like a behemoth, it stands in the starry sky, radiating billions of rays of light, illuminating this starry sky. Unlike ordinary sun stars, this Tai Sun Star is billions of times larger than ordinary sun stars, and the rules here are chaotic and the flame temperature is extremely high. Every ray of sun's flame is enough to burn a cosmic god to death, and the flames in the depths of the sun are even more terrifying. Under normal circumstances, only the powerhouse above the god general can enter this sun star. Wow, Yi Tian shuttled over, staring at the Tai Sun Star. This sun star is really extraordinary, and there is even a continent on it. Yi Tian was quite surprised. Where the normal sun has continents, there may be star cores inside, but other places are basically gaseous substances, and there are no continents at all. But there are continents on this sun star. The essence of these continents is actually a solid substance, but they are extremely strong and connected with the sun star, and can even be used to refine chaos treasures. Interesting, this sun star is very valuable, even comparable to a Taoist weapon. If there is a true ancestor, I am afraid that even the true ancestor will fight for this sun star. Yi Tian muttered, it's a pity that there is no true ancestor in today's big universe, not even a true monarch. Even a powerhouse in the realm of half-step true spirit can't take away this Tai Sun Star. Therefore, a large number of heavenly monarchs entered this sun and stars, just to collect the resources above. Yi Tian flew into this Tai Sun Star and began to look for the eternal flame. Tai Sun Star is very big, even bigger than some big worlds. In addition, the rules here are chaotic, and the speed of the heavenly monarchs has been affected, and it is more than tens of thousands of times slower. Because of this, when the heavenly monarchs enter Tai Sun Star, once they are dispersed, they may not be able to meet. Yi Tian didn't meet anyone at first, and occasionally sensed the existence of other heavenly sovereigns, so they avoided each other. After all, killing each other was unnecessary and stupid when they didn't see the treasure. Hey, sun grass. Yi Tian saw a fiery red grass growing in the flames. This is a relatively common low-level innate source, sun grass. In the system of Zushin Yimai, such a sun grass only has 1 point per plant. To the god general level, such sun grass is of good value, but unfortunately to Yi Tian it is better than nothing. Come on, I'm too poor now, a point is also a point. 1. Yi Tian stepped forward and took away this sun grass. In the days that followed, Yi Tian kept collecting all kinds of fire-type treasures, and even some yang-type treasures that contained the power of the sun. The yang element is also a type of the fire element, but it contains special effects, so it is called the yang element. Some strong people who walk to the yang Dao like yang element treasures, so the value of yang element treasures is generally very high. In a month, Yi Tian has gained a lot, and the accumulated gains are full of thousands of points. 1,000 points a month, what is the concept? 12,000 points a year. 10 years of 120,000 points. 100 years is 1.2 million points. In the outside world, who can have such a harvest, and some top treasures do not have such a harvest. Certainly, the actual situation cannot be calculated like this. In the later stage, the harvest will definitely be less and less, but Yi Tian has only searched a small area, and there is such a harvest. It can be seen how many treasures are on this Tai Sun star. No wonder those heavenly sovereigns are all crazy, running here one by one, and they don't even disclose the news very much. It is because there are too many treasures here, and everyone wants to occupy them. Yi Tian muttered. This day, Yi Tian saw a corpse. It was the corpse of a heavenly monarch, not a heavenly monarch list heavenly monarch, but a very ordinary heavenly monarch, and also a native resident. Angel race. Yi Tian saw the pair of wings behind this heavenly monarch, and the other side's breath was exactly the same as that of the angels. Obviously, this is a heavenly monarch of the angel race. The angel clan was also one of the big clans in the universe at the beginning, but it has since declined. But in today's big universe, there are countless resources, and the angel clan has slowly developed. Although the angels are far inferior to the humans, they have also given birth to a lot of powerful lords, even some gods, and even a few heavenly monarchs. Unexpectedly, now the angel family has fallen to a heavenly monarch. The angels also want to harvest some treasures here. Once the treasures are harvested, the angels can develop rapidly. It's a pity that their strength is too poor. Yi Tian sighed. For flowers, the gods who entered the Tai Sun star were cannon fodder, and the heavenly monarch of the angel race was too weak and the foundation was too poor. Even some 7 or 8 star gods could not be beaten, and they were also cannon fodder. If you are lucky, you may be able to harvest some treasures. If you are unlucky, you will be killed directly. Another month passed. Yi Tian found a high-level innate source item, and it was a kind of high-level innate source item Jiang Xingchenhua. The Jiang star flower is a high-level fire-type innate source, which contains the power of Jiang, and is also called a Yang-type innate source. Such a flower of innate origin is worth at least 100,000 points. For a Tianjin, a treasure with 100,000 points is worth the effort. At the same time, there was also a heavenly monarch who discovered Jiang Xingchenhua, a heavenly monarch of Yangtian Temple, who happened to be walking on Jiang Avenue. Jiang Xingchenhua is mine. The Yanglong Tianjin of the Yangtian Temple was insane, and grabbed the Jiang Xingchenhua at the fastest speed. However, his speed was too slow compared to Yi Tian. Swish! Yi Tian used the time-space transfer technique, and instantly came to Jiang Xingchenhua's side, grabbed it, and put it into the universe within his body. Wan Fadaozi, it's you. When Yanglong Tianjin saw Yi Tian, he showed a look of jealousy, but soon he showed a look of madness. Wan Fa Daozi, I saw Jiang star flower first, give it to me. Yanglong Tianjin shouted loudly. This is what I got first, just because you want to snatch my sunshine star flower. Yi Tian sneered. Wan Fadaozi, I know that you are the 102nd Tianjin on the Tianjin list. I am only the 199th Tianjin on the Tianjin list. I am indeed inferior to you in terms of strength. But here is the sun star, and my strength will be increased, and your strength will be suppressed. In the Tai Sun star, you are not my opponent. Yanglong Tianjin threatened. He doesn't know Yi Tian's life-saving means, and there are not many people who really know Yi Tian's life-saving ability. The heavenly fire sect knew, the dark god would know, some heavenly monarchs in the Zushan temple knew, and as for the others, not much was known. And Yanglong Tianjin doesn't know. Otherwise, he would never dare to threaten Yi Tianji. Chapter 910 Conquering Yanglong Tianjin. Second update. Yanglong Tianjin also knows that Yi Tian's identity is not ordinary, it is a personal handed down from Taoist ancestors, and he must not offend him. But Jiang Xingchen flower is really of extraordinary significance to him. One of his secret techniques needs Jiang Xingchen flower. Once he gets Jiang Xingchen flower, his strength will be greatly improved, and he will even enter directly in front of the heavenly sovereign ranking. 100. In the future, it is even expected to be ranked in the top 30 of the heavenly sovereign list and become a truly invincible heavenly sovereign. By then, his status would be extraordinary. Besides, as long as he doesn't kill Yi Tian, then even if he doesn't offend, it's impossible for Shu Tian's lineage to go to war because he robbed Yi Tian's Jiang Xingchen flower. As for offending Yi Tian, that's nothing. The big deal is that if he leaves the big universe in the future, Yi Tian can still chase him out and kill him. Therefore, he would rather risk the danger of completely offending Yi Tian, and also take away Jiang Xingchenhua. You are very brave, Yi Tian said coldly. Wan Fadaozi, hand over the sunshine star flower, otherwise I'm welcome. 1. Yanglong Tianjin said coldly. You don't know me so well. Yi Tian said with a smile. Yanglong Tianjin no longer hesitated, and shot in an instant. One after another fiery dragons charged with incomparably terrifying flames towards Yi Tian, as if hundreds of millions of giant dragons were flying into the sky. These methods were too terrifying and far surpassed the 230, of ordinary heavenly monarchs. Faced with such attacks, other heavenly monarchs would try their best to avoid them, but Yi Tian stood there motionless, just using the blood river inextinguishable technique. A river of blood appeared, suppressing the infinite flames on the sun star. When the flame meets the river of blood, none of them can get close. And Yanglong Tianjin's billions of fire dragons bombarded Yi Tian's body, collapsed one by one, and could not hurt Yi Tian at all. It's too weak, even my defense can't be broken, and even if you break my defense, you can't destroy me in the blood river inextinguishable technique. Yi Tian's voice spread throughout the void. Blood river inextinguishable technique, you actually practiced such chaotic supernatural powers. Yanglong Tianjin was shocked. Moreover, he could see that Yi Tian's body not only has the blood river immortality technique, but also the extreme immortality technique, and his body is almost indestructible. Many factors have created Yi Tian's immortal body, which cannot be killed by the heavenly monarch level. Miscalculation. Yanglong Tianjin smiled bitterly. Knowing that Yi Tian was so terrifying, how could he dare to attack? Now not only can't even Jiang Xingchenhua, but even offend Yi Tian, it will be completely finished from now on. Escape. Yanglong Tianjin tried to leave. However, Yi Tian would not let him go. Puff. Yanglong Tianjin's body solidified, a knife mark appeared on his body, his entire body was almost cut off, and 1% of his vitality was annihilated. How so? Yanglong Tianjin knows how powerful his body is. He walks on the Great Yang Dao, and condenses the Jiang Dao body. Although it is only the peak of the Jiang Dao body, it has not yet reached the Dacheng state, but his body is far greater than that. The other heavenly sovereigns are sturdy, and their vitality is extremely strong, and the Yang breath can even shock some weaker yin and evil heavenly sovereigns to death. With such a powerful body, it is more difficult to kill him. But now, Yi Tian's knife annihilated 1% of his body. Doesn't this mean that Yi Tian can kill him with 100 knives? 100 knives may seem like a lot, but Tianjin can make 100 knives in an instant. Certainly, Tianjin can slash 100 knives, or even 1,000 knives, 10,000 knives in an instant, but it is uncertain how many knives he can hit. But Yanglong Tianjin was very frightened because he couldn't sense the trajectory of Yi Tian's knife. The speed of Yi Tian's knife was too fast, and it was almost beyond his perception. Puff puff. A knife bombarded the body of Yanglong Tianjin. No matter how he escaped, how he changed his route, or even traveled through space, he could not stop Yi Tian's attack. Yi Tian's time and space teleportation technique is too powerful, it is simply an invincible supernatural power in melee combat. When 50% of his body was annihilated, Yanglong Tianjin begged for mercy. Wanfa Daozi, forgive me. Yanglong Tianjin cried out, knelt down and begged for mercy. Wow! Yi Tian appeared in front of Yanglong Tianjin and said coldly, didn't you threaten me just now, but you still dare to shoot at me, why are you begging for mercy now? Wanfa Daozi, I just need Jiang Xingchen flower so much that my mind is confused. And I just want to snatch Jiang Xingchen flower, I have never thought of killing Wanfa Daozi, and I also ask Wanfa Daozi to give one opportunity. Yanglong Tianjin begged for mercy. Humph, if you showed killing intent, you would have already died. Yi Tian said. Well, I will give you a chance to make a vow of life, accepting me as the master, and I may not kill you. Yi Tian's desire to accept Yanglong Tianjin was not a momentary idea, but he wanted to find an errand man a long time ago. Although the human race can help him, it is only a small one. Moreover, the human race is too weak. At present, he can't help him in many things, and it is impossible for some Tianjin in Zushan Temple to be his subordinates. Even if some Tianjin are willing to rely on him, when they encounter some big opportunities, certainly not willing to tell him. Because, he must find a 100% loyal subordinate. But creatures have minds, and if they want to have a 100% loyal subordinate, they can only control the life and death of the other party. Yi Tian didn't dare to control the heavenly monarch of the Zushan Temple, that would be death, and the Taoist ancestor would not forgive him lightly if he knew it. In addition, Yi Tian did not dare to control the heavenly monarchs of other Taoist forces, this was one of the taboos. Otherwise, if the heavenly monarch who controls the Daozu forces of the other party enters the interior, wouldn't it be possible to spy on some secrets and even inheritance? If this thing is discovered, it is equivalent to endless death. Moreover, the heavenly sovereign who controlled the Tao ancestor's forces could not hide this matter from the other's Tao ancestor, so Yi Tian could only control the heavenly sovereign of some ordinary great forces. Such as the Yangtian Temple. The Yangtian Temple is a force established by a true ancestor. The true ancestor is not too powerful. In addition, the universe is blocked. Even if he controls the Tianjin of the Yangtian temple, the true ancestor cannot be calculated. It's a big deal to let Yanglong Tianjin leave the Yangtian temple in the future. This is not a violation of the rules. Once there is a Tianjin subordinate, many things just need to be ordered, and Yi Tian does not need to waste time to do. But Tianjin, who is too weak, does not have enough potential to be his subordinate. Yanglong Tianjin is good, and he is even expected to become the top 100 Tianjin on the Tianjin list. He is also the helm of the inner Yangtian temple of the universe, which means he is in control. A great force works for itself. Therefore, Yanglong Tianjin is the most suitable subordinate. What, you want me to be your slave? Yanglong Tianjin was furious. Make an oath, this is equal to being controlled by Yi Tian for a lifetime, and there will never be a chance to turn over. How would he want to? If you don't want to, then die. Yi Tian threatened. And do you think anyone is qualified to rely on me? I will become a true ancestor in the future, and even become a Taoist ancestor. There is hope. If you follow me, in the future, I may be expected to become a top true ancestor, and with me as a backer, who would dare to bully you? Life or death, you choose. 1. Yanglong Tianjin's complexion changed many times. He is afraid of death. Yes, he wanted to be alive, but he didn't want to be controlled. As time passed, Yi Tian's patience gradually disappeared. Just when Yi Tian was about to kill Yanglong Tianjin finally made up his mind. I am willing to surrender. Yanglong Tianjin lowered his head and said. He wants to understand. If he doesn't agree, he will die without a doubt. If he agrees, even though he is under the control of Yi Tian is right about one thing, that is, Yi Tian's potential is too high, and he is the person with the highest potential he has ever seen. Yi Tian will definitely be able to become the true ancestor in the future, and he is the top true ancestor. Even if he cannot step into the Tao ancestor, he can still fight with the ordinary true ancestor. It is not a loss for him to take refuge in such a genius. Make an oath, and give me a ray of natal soul by the way. 1. Yi Tian ordered. Yes. Yanglong Tianjin nodded, and immediately began to make an oath, and handed over a strand of his life soul to Yi Tian, who was truly under the control of Yi Tian, and there was no hope of breaking free. Give it to you. Yi Tian handed Jiang Xingchen flower to Yanglong Tianjin. This. Yanglong Tianjin was extremely surprised. This is the supreme sun star flower, how valuable it is. Even if it doesn't help Yi Tian very much, it can still be traded out. You are my subordinate, I will naturally train you, and you seem to need Jiang Xingchen very much, so let's improve your strength. Otherwise, if your strength is too weak, it will not be convenient for me to do things for me. Yi Tian smiled. Road. Thank you master. Yanglong Tianjin Dao. Yanglong, how long have you come to Taya Sunstar? Yi Tian asked. It's been more than 2 months. Yanglong Tianjin replied. It's been more than 2 months, it's not too short. Yi Tian asked again. I heard that Taya Sunstar is suspected to have eternal flames, I wonder if you have heard of it. I heard of it, Yanglong Tianjin quickly replied. Eternal Flame 5.8 is a top-level innate source, and its value is much greater than that of Jiang Star Flower. Not long ago, Taya Sunstar appeared with a ray of eternity. The breath of flames, but soon disappeared. Top-level innate origins have certain wisdom and can move around, so it is not easy to catch it. If the rumors are correct, then there must be eternity on Tian Sun Star. Flames. I see. Yi Tian was very excited. Taya Sun Star has eternal flame, that is a good thing. Even if he can't capture it, once someone captures the eternal flame, he also hopes to trade it. Of course, the safest way is to take it yourself, otherwise once someone else takes it and is unwilling to trade, he can't do anything about it. Yanglong, you are looking for the eternal flame on Taya Sun Star for me, and by the way, use the power of the Yangtian temple to find it. Remember, don't expose the relationship between us for the time being, and try not to let the people in the Chaos Yangtian temple discover. If you can't hide things that can't be concealed in the future, if you leave the Yangtian temple, then, even if I should be qualified to keep you, the Yangtian temple can't do anything. Yes. Yanglong Tianjin nodded. Immediately, he left, looking for the eternal flame for Yi Tian, and ordered the other heavenly monarchs in Taya Sun Xingyang Temple to also search for the eternal flame. Chapter 911 The eternal flame is in hand. Third. With the help of Yanglong Tianjin, I will not be lacking in intelligence. In the big universe, my foundation is still too weak. Yi Tian sighed. But there is no way. The heavenly sovereigns who can enter the great universe are not ordinary heavenly sovereigns. All of them have deep backgrounds. Even some weak heavenly sovereigns have great backgrounds. Maybe some things will help him, but definitely not. Will run errands for him. Otherwise, he would not take the risk of subduing Yanglong Tianjin. Fortunately, the benefits of subduing Yanglong Tianjin far outweighed the disadvantages, and this move was the right move. In addition, he secretly performed the infinite life technique on Yanglong Tianjin, and Yanglong Tianjin would never dare to cheat, otherwise he would easily know. In a flash, a few days passed. Yi Tian knew that Yanglong Tianjin was shuttled around on Taya Sun Star through the infinite immortality technique, not hiding somewhere to be lazy. Moreover, he contacted Yanglong Tianjin several times, and the information the other party said was completely correct. Otherwise, he will definitely punish Yanglong Tianjin heavily. With the passage of time, Yi Tian has harvested more and more treasures, but the chance of finding treasures is much smaller. Let the treasures on Taya Sun Star become less and less. Almost earned hundreds of thousands of points. Yi Tian calculated, this kind of gain is already very good, but it is still a lot worse than killing people. But once you become addicted to killing people, the whole person will completely degenerate, and even become the same thing as the Dark God Society. Yi Tian has his own principles, unless he offends him, otherwise he can't kill people. Yi Tian also thought that 29 would have someone to kill him, but unfortunately, his popularity was very high, and other heavenly monarchs either couldn't beat him, or they were jealous of his status and didn't dare to deal with him. In a word, the Tianjin encountered along the way, when they saw him, they avoided him, or said hello and left, and no one came to assassinate him. This day, Yi Tian was walking on a continent of sun and stars, and suddenly received a message from Yanglong Tianjin. Master, the eternal flame has appeared, and some heavenly sovereigns at the top of the heavenly sovereign list are chasing the eternal flame. 1. Yanglong Tianjin sent a message. The eternal flame has appeared. Yi Tian was quite excited. After inquiring about the specific situation, they quickly shuttled past. Taya Sun Star, the inner airflow region. A fiery red villain is constantly shuttled. It is the elf villain transformed into eternal flame. Although it is small, its strength is not weak. It can burn a powerful heavenly monarch to death with its own flame power. The grade is the strongest, and the fifth grade is the weakest. Then, this eternal flame definitely belongs to the third grade Tianjin. Except for the second grade, first grade and Tianjin list Tianjin, other Tianjin dare not approach this eternal flame. Now, there are more than a dozen heavenly sovereigns chasing the eternal flame. All of them are heavenly sovereigns on the heavenly sovereign list, and they are all among the top 300 heavenly sovereigns on the heavenly sovereign list. Jun is the first day of the Tower of the God of War. In addition to these dozen or so heavenly monarchs, other heavenly sovereigns are also coming one after another, but the position of eternal flame has been changing, so there are not many heavenly sovereigns who arrived in time. Originally, the strength of eternal flame was far inferior to these heavenly sovereigns, and it was reasonable to say that it was difficult to escape. But the speed of eternal flame on Taya Sunstar is too fast, and it is born with a kind of fire escape technique. It's like a fish in water on Taya Sunstar. The consciousness of those powerful heavenly monarchs is severely limited here, and some special tracking methods have also been affected, so it is difficult to track down the eternal flame. However, the eternal flame has been locked, and once there are too many Tianjin chasing down, it will eventually be caught. Ha ha ha, the eternal flame must be my Fengzhou's. Fengzhou Tianjin, the 17th place on the Tianjin list, came and stopped in front of the escape route of eternal flame. Seeing this scene, the expression of Thunder Tianjin behind him changed. The strength gap between the top 30 heavenly sovereigns on the heavenly sovereign ranking is not so great that they cannot compete with each other. For example, there is a certain gap between the 17th and the 6th, but the heavenly sovereigns who can cultivate to this level are not bad for their life-saving means. Thunder Tianjin can defeat Fengzhou Tianjin, but he has no hope of killing Fengzhou Tianjin at all. If the eternal flame falls into the hands of Tianjin Fengzhou, Tianjin Thunder will not be able to snatch it. Boom! A pair of wind hands transformed by Tianjin Fengzhou, claws toward the eternal flame, but a sharp arrow shot at a critical moment, instantly shattering Tianjin Fengzhou's wind hands. Xingyunjian, do you dare to stop me? The wind dove was furious. Wow! A figure emerged, holding a divine bow. He is the 21st ranked Xingyunjianjun on the Tianjin list. One-handed archery is the most chaotic. One arrow can penetrate hundreds of millions of worlds. One of the heavenly sovereigns, and the heavenly sovereign that everyone fears. Once, Xingyun Jianjun shot and killed a weak true monarch in the chaos, separated by a starry sky continent. If it were another heavenly sovereign, even the invincible heavenly sovereign who was number 1 on the heavenly sovereign ranking would never be able to do such amazing means. Of course, Xingyun Jianjun also has shortcomings, that is, the melee methods are average. But in melee combat, relatively speaking, no one at the heavenly monarch level can kill him, but if he can't beat him, he can escape, and then shoot at you from a long distance, which is very annoying. Therefore, other heavenly sovereigns do not want to offend Xingyun Jianjun, otherwise once they are offended, they must be careful when walking outside in the future, be wary of Xingyun Jianjun's divine arrow, and be in a tense state all the time. It is absolutely desperate. Status. Thunder Heavenly Monarch, the eternal flame is an ownerless thing, I can naturally stop you. Xingyun Jian said coldly. Quote. Thunder Tianjin's eyes widened angrily, but he did not dare to attack Xingyun Jianjun. Immediately, he continued to capture the eternal flame, and Xingyun Jianjun also joined the fight. Everyone is on their own. One is strong. If you join, some of the more powerful heavenly sovereigns will not dare to participate, and they will quit. Otherwise, once they are killed by Thunder Heavenly Sovereign and other heavenly sovereigns at will, it will be completely over. Soon, the eternal flame was completely besieged in an area, and even the fire escape technique was useless, and there was no way to escape. At this moment, a voice resounded through the void. The eternal flame is mine. Hearing this voice, all the heavenly monarchs stopped. Many heavenly sovereigns have recognized the owner of this voice, and it is the first heavenly sovereign on the heavenly sovereign list, 0. 0 is the name of the first Tianjin on the Tianjin list. The other party does not need the title of Tianjin. Someone once wanted to give this Tianjin a name, but he refused. 0 said that its name is 0, and its title is also 0, and others are not allowed to change it. 0 is not a member of the major forces, but a loose cultivator. This time, he was able to enter the big universe at a cost. Moreover, 0 was wearing a mask, and no one knew what his face was. But everyone is afraid of 0. He is one of the oldest heavenly monarchs in chaos, and he has lived too long, even longer than many true ancestors. In the chaos, no one has rank Tianjin, because the chaos is too big, there are too many Tianjin have never played against each other, so it is impossible to give a ranking, but 0 is definitely one of the strongest Tianjin. In the big universe, 0's strength far surpasses others. No one has fought against 0, and they don't know if they can survive under 0's hands, but they dare not try. No one knows what 0's strength is, but one thing is very clear, that is, 0 has mastered the ultimate level of chaos divine ability, and there are far more than one. In addition, 0's avenue has at least traveled tens of thousands of meters. 0, if you want to compete for the eternal flame, I am willing to give up. Xingyun Jianjun took the lead to withdraw. Lei Ting Tianjin and Fengju Tianjin also chose to withdraw one by one. They knew that they couldn't compete with 0, so they might as well quit, otherwise they would anger 0 and it would be over. 0 is not only powerful, but also a lunatic, not afraid of the identity behind them. Perhaps in the chaos, he was still a little afraid and did not dare to kill, but in the big universe, if 0 Gen made a shot, Daozu could not stop it. 0 appeared, wearing a mask and grabbing the eternal flame with one hand. Eternal Flame was so terrified that he found that his body was constantly flying towards 0, unable to break free at all. This is one of the chaos supernatural powers, Void Grab. It is not considered a powerful chaotic supernatural power, even 3000 chaotic supernatural powers cannot be ranked 230, but it has been cultivated to the limit level by 0, so the power is also very terrible. Just when everyone thought that the eternal flame would fall into 0's hands, a figure appeared, grabbed the eternal flame, and then shuttled away. This scene was so fast that even 0 was stunned. Just when 0 was furious, he found that he had lost the trace of that person. It's a big world shift. One Tianjin recognized it and said, could it be a monarch of the Dark God Society? It is said that the Dark God Society has the inheritance of the transfer of the Great World. Yu Tianjin said. However, what they never expected was that the person who shot was Yi Tian, the Daozi of Wanfa. It's just that Yi Tian used that soul-like Chaos Supreme Treasure variety magic mirror to change his soul aura, his appearance, and his own life aura, so these people couldn't recognize it. Of course, if Yi Tian stayed for too long, these people might use some special means to recognize him. But Yi Tian came too fast, walked too fast, beyond their expectations. How could anyone have time to spy on Yi Tian's true colors? Somewhere in the big universe, in a small world, Yi Tian's figure appeared, and there was a little panic on his face. It's very dangerous, so many heavenly sovereigns. Fortunately, the plan went smoothly, otherwise once they were trapped and the magical powers were used, the magical powers would definitely be exposed. The threat of other heavenly sovereigns is nothing, but that 1-0 is too terrifying. Yi Tian was not afraid of any heavenly monarch before, but he just met that 0. Even though he had never seen his real shot, he used the copy talent to explore the other party's talent, but found that the other party had a lot of super god level talents and after fusion talent. Obviously, this person has practiced a lot of chaotic supernatural powers. In addition, the other party is very old and has practiced for countless years. Many chaotic supernatural powers may have been cultivated to the limit level. A variety of chaotic supernatural power limit levels, the body is tempered to the limit, the soul is also tempered to the limit. How terrifying this kind of strength is. Yi Tian even felt that if he escaped slowly, he would be severely injured by the opponent. Fortunately, the eternal flame is in hand. Once the eternal fire is not extinguished, and the foundation is accumulated, Yi Tian is absolutely not afraid of 0, and even can easily surpass 0 in the future. Chapter 912 Xiaocheng and #039. S pinnacle will never be extinguished. First update. Tia on the Sun Star. 0 was so angry that he attacked everywhere, beheading several powerful heavenly monarchs, and then left. What everyone doesn't know is that 0 is very eager for the eternal flame, and it is also one of the treasures he has been collecting. He could be promoted to the real spirit realm early and become a true monarch, but he has not been promoted. It is not a matter of background. His strength is stronger than that of many Taoist ancestors, and his potential is terrifying. Even at the beginning, he was promoted to the peak of 9 stars, and he was a true peerless genius. But he still has ambitions to gather the strongest true spirit. The real spirit realm focuses on the real spirit. Once the real spirit is condensed, it can be called the half-step real spirit realm. The next step is the perfect combination of the true spirit and the physical body, officially entering the real spirit realm. This step is a waste of time, especially the more powerful the half-step true spirit of the physical body, the longer it takes, but the true spirit that becomes the stronger. 0 is not a half-step true spirit, otherwise he would not have been on the heavenly sovereign ranking. But even if he didn't die half-step true spirits, those half-step true spirits in the big universe were not his opponents. In the chaos, true spirits are divided into lower true spirits, middle true spirits, upper true spirits, heavenly true spirits, supreme true spirits, and supreme true spirits. Most heavenly sovereigns can only condense lower-ranking true spirits at most, but don't underestimate the lower-ranking true spirits. After all, 99% of heavenly sovereigns have no hope of condensing their true spirits, and it is already very good to be able to condense lower-ranking true spirits. Not bad. Some Tianzhao can condense high-ranking true spirits, while the true disciples of Taoist forces have the hope of condensing supreme true spirits, but the probability is not too high. As for the supreme true spirit, there is no hope for the Taoist ancestors to pass on it personally, and even many true ancestors did not condense the supreme true spirit at the beginning. 0's goal is the supreme true spirit, and it is not difficult for him to condense the supreme true spirit. However, it is not so simple to condense the supreme true spirit. The body of chaos, the divine power of chaos, and the soul of chaos must all reach an extremely terrifying level. And over the long years, he has raised the chaotic divine power and chaotic soul to the extreme, and there is only one step left for the body of chaos. It is eternal flame. Once he obtains the eternal flame, he can condense the perfect body of chaos, thus condensing the supreme true spirit in one fell swoop, and then fuse the body into the real spirit realm. Just one step away. 0 is extremely annoyed. Although there are not many treasures that can replace the eternal flame, each of them is extremely rare. He has searched for a long time in the chaos and has not found it, so he wants to enter the big universe to try his luck. After all, the big universe will become a Taoist realm in the future, and all kinds of rare treasures will definitely be born. And this time, the appearance of the eternal flame made him extremely excited. After all, in such a short period of time, the treasure he wanted was born in the big universe, and there was no need to wait for a long time. Unexpectedly, with his strength, he did not snatch the eternal flame, but was taken away by an unknown heavenly monarch. The big world is moving. Don't let me know who you are, or you will die. 0 secretly swears. Yi Tian offended 0, but he is not worried in his heart. He knew that he couldn't hide the 0 forever. Once he exposed the great realm shift in the future, his identity would naturally be exposed, but the mere 0 was just because of the long training time, and it was not a threat. Yi Tian did not continue to practice at Taya Sun Star, but returned to the Hall of Void Heaven and began to retreat. In addition, he also let Yanglong Tianjin leave Taya Sunstar, so as not to fall on Taya Sunstar. This time, Yanglong Tianjin got Jiang Xingchen flower. As long as it is refined, the time will increase greatly, and there is no need to continue taking risks in Taya Sunstar. Besides, Yi Tian has obtained the eternal flame, and there is no shortage of resources for the time being. In the days that followed, Yi Tian tried his best to realize that cultivation is eternal. Once he has become the 25th chaotic supernatural power of eternal immortality, his strength will definitely skyrocket. 20,000 years later, Yi Tian's laughter came from the closed room. He finally learned to never put out a fire. Eternal, do not put out fire, come out. A ray of flame appeared in front of him, emitting a light blue flame. The seemingly ordinary flames do not seem to have any power, but Yi Tian is very aware of the terrifyingness of this eternal fire, and the surrounding rules are gradually collapsing under the eternal fire. Moreover, it is difficult to extinguish the eternal fire. Eternal and inexhaustible is the entry-level, but it is already comparable to the extreme sword magical power of the Dacheng realm, and to a certain extent, it is several times more terrifying than the extreme sword magical power. Yi Tian muttered. He did not go out, but continued to practice, preparing to comprehend the eternal immortality to the realm of small achievement, and even to the realm of great achievement before he was ready to go out. And this retreat took 500,000 years. After 500,000 years of hard work, Yi Tian finally reached the peak of Shaocheng, and he was only one step away from Dacheng, but he fell into a bottleneck. There is no way, eternal unextinguishing is too powerful, and the difficulty of comprehension is unusually high. Even if it is a god-level super-enlightenment talent and its own terrifying perception, it is difficult to cultivate eternal unextinguishing to the realm of great achievement in a short period of time. Chaos supernatural powers like these are too difficult to cultivate to the realm of mastery, and it is normal for those with insufficient talent to remain in the realm of minor success all their lives. After all, once he has reached the Dacheng realm, as long as he has collected enough materials, he can refine the inheritance of the eternal immortal magical power, so that more people can inherit the eternal immortality. Forget it, let's go out temporarily, and continue to retreat. I'm afraid it will take millions of years to cultivate the eternal immortality to the realm of great achievement. The 25th place in the Chaos Supernatural Powers list, the eternal immortality is really not that simple. Realm, my talent is still a little short. Yi Tian exclaimed. If others heard Yi Tian's words, they would definitely die of anger. If Yi Tian's talent is considered poor, no one in the entire chaos has high talent. As for the chaotic supernatural powers like eternal unextinguishing, even if other people meet the conditions, it is estimated that if they want to cultivate to the realm of small success, it is estimated that they need to be in units of billions of years, or even billions of years and tens of billions of years. Yi Tian was able to cultivate to the peak of Shaocheng in just 500,000 years, which was extremely exaggerated. After leaving the customs, Yi Tian took a look and found that his ranking on the Heavenly Sovereign ranking had indeed improved a lot. Before, he was number 102 on the Tianjin list, but now he has been promoted to number 46 on the Tianjin list, directly entering the top 50 on the Tianjin list, and even surpassing Pengyu Tianjin. It can be said that Yi Tian's good rapid ascension has long been over the entire universe, and he knows how many days to discuss him, but he has been in retreat, and he doesn't know it. I have seen Daozi, a famous Tianjin in Zushan Temple saw Yi Tian leaving the customs and said respectfully. Many heavenly sovereigns even showed their admiration. After all, Yi Tian's strength increased so fast that it was unimaginable. Among the Tianjin, Pengyu Tianjin was completely convinced. In the past, he was stronger than Yi Tian, and he dared to be called Yi Tian's senior brother, but now he absolutely dare not. Soon, these heavenly sovereigns of Zushan Temple were sent away by Yi Tian. Yi Tian went back to the human race and stayed with his family for a few days, and then contacted Yanglong Tianjin to learn about the latest situation. Nothing major happened in the last 500,000 years in the big universe. The only thing was that the number 1 on the Heavenly Sovereign list went to the Dark God Society and killed the 3 Heavenly Sovereigns of the Dark God Society. It is estimated that after the Zero investigation, I think that the Tianjin who started on that day must be the Tianjin of the Dark God Society, and the Dark God Society is the one who took the blame for me this time. Yi Tian said with a smile. Chapter 913 The Real Value of the Source, the Innate Source Tree. 2nd. The Big Universe, the Secret Realm of the Source. A heavenly sovereign entered the origin, and like Yi Tian, all other abilities were restricted, but this heavenly sovereign had a means, which was given to him by the true ancestor, even the origin could not completely suppress this method. This method is a state of nothingness that is almost insoluble. Once entering this state, the source person can't hurt him at all. Therefore, this heavenly monarch came all the way to the source tree. In the past, many earth lords, divine generals, and heavenly sovereigns had entered the source land, but they only thought that the source land was an ordinary secret realm for honing combat skills, and they didn't care too much. Except for Yi Tian, no one has seen this original tree again. The native creatures of the great universe don't have much knowledge, and even if they see the source tree, they don't know it at all. But this Tianjin is the Tianjin of the Tianjin list, and the Tianjin of Qishan Temple, one of the great forces. He is the Ziqi Tianjin. He has a lot of knowledge and recognizes the source tree at once. This is the innate source tree, my god. The innate source tree was born in the big universe. Ziqi Tianjin was extremely shocked. However, he is different from Yi Tian. At the beginning, Yi Tian directly defeated all the source people and killed all the way here. He was considered to have completed the assessment here, and thus obtained the source seed given by the source tree. But Ziqi Tianjin came here by cheating, and naturally he couldn't get the original seed. He did not continue to stay, but chose to leave the source. Soon, Qitian Temple knew about the existence of the innate origin tree. Originally, Qishan Temple didn't want to reveal this secret, but what I didn't expect was that a heavenly monarch of Qishan Temple leaked the secret inadvertently, and news of the innate origin tree spread. Suddenly, the source place changed from an ordinary secret realm to a precious secret realm with endless potential. Origin, innate source tree. Yi Tian received a message from Yanglong Tianjin, and then received a message from Zushan Temple. 230 The news is all the same, all about the innate origin tree of the source. Innate origin tree. Yi Tian knew about the situation of the source for a long time, but he didn't investigate it much. After all, he couldn't enter the source again. One person could only enter once, so he never paid attention to this information. Afterwards, he investigated the secrets of the innate origin tree, and only then did he truly realize the value of that origin tree. The innate source tree contains the innate source, which is the purest source between heaven and earth, and it is the source that can be absorbed by people. Once you absorb the source, you can transform your talent into the source talent. The source talent is not very useful to the gods and heavenly monarchs, because they have not yet involved the real secret of the source talent. In the past, Yi Tian couldn't find the news of the source talent, neither did the Zushan lineage. Because the intelligence level of the source talent is too high, it is the secret of the true ancestors, so he can't find it. But now, the innate source tree has appeared, and the news about the source talent has naturally spread. The original talent corresponds to the original supernatural power. The original supernatural power is the true perfect embodiment of the origin of the Tao, and it is the strongest supernatural power above the chaotic supernatural power. Moreover, the source supernatural power cannot be inherited or learned, and can only be realized and created by oneself. But if you want to create the source supernatural power, the premise is that you must have the source talent. However, it is too difficult to want the original talent. The talents of everyone in the chaos are actually not perfect, and the original talent is a transformation above the perfect talent. If you want to directly transform from the imperfect talent to the original talent, you can only use the innate source tree, which is the only way at present. But CJFI wants to extract the purest innate source transformation talent from the innate source tree. It is also very difficult, but at least there is hope. I underestimated that innate source tree. If I knew it was so precious, I should have informed the master at the beginning. Yi Tian smiled bitterly. If he had told master, he would have received a lot of rewards. Of course, even if it is the virtual world, it is not realistic to think of monopolizing the innate origin. To be honest, Yi Tian is not very interested in the innate origin tree. At the beginning, although he was sent away by the spirit of the innate source tree with a source seed, he was able to use the source seed to a good degree. At least he transformed all his perfect talents into source talents. His talent has become the source talent, and the innate source tree is almost useless to him. But not long after, Yi Tian became interested in the source land again. Not for the other, just because a news came. Some Taoist ancestors teamed up to transform the source from the sky, and then sent some real geniuses from the chaos to the source. The real source will block the talent, but after the Taoist ancestors are transformed, they can bring the talent into the source, but they are very fair to each other, and the strength of the cultivation base is the same. Everyone in the source can only maintain the cultivation base of the peak of the earth, and the magical powers and secret skills will still be limited. Only talent can be brought in, and other things cannot be brought in. If you want to exert your strength in the source area, you can only create new secret skills, and you must comply with the rules of the source area. God generals, heavenly monarchs, true monarchs, and even some true ancestors will enter the source. Yi Tian was excited. This is an opportunity. He can completely copy some of the more heaven-defying talents, and the one he cares about the most is the transcendental talent. His transcendence talent is God level, which is a special talent. It is difficult to upgrade to super God level, and he can only copy other people's transcendence talent. If he encounters a monster with a super God level super enlightenment talent, he will make a lot of money. The ancestors of Taoism transformed the source. Even if I have entered the source, I can enter again this time. Yi Tian muttered. He decided to enter the source again. And as a direct descendant of Taoist ancestors, he naturally has this entry. Time flies, and thousands of years have passed. The Taoist ancestors could not enter the big universe, the power to extend in was limited, and they had to pay some price, so the transformation was naturally very difficult. A group of Taoist ancestors cooperated, and it took 1,000 years to finally complete the transformation of the source. And this source also has a brand new name, Shantianji. This day, those who got the places to enter the Shantian realm have obtained a token, and they can enter the Shantian realm with the token. After Yi Tian got the token, he opened the token, and the whole person entered the Shantian world instantly. Shantian realm, Shantian city. Yi Tian appeared here, and when he saw this magnificent giant city and the innate origin tree in the center of the giant city, he immediately marveled at the magnificent power of the Taoist ancestors. The transformation is so great. The Taoist ancestors extended their power into a secret realm within the great universe across the boundless territory, and they could also transform it. Such means are too unimaginable. Moreover, Yi Tian clearly felt that the rules of the innate realm had undergone some slight changes, which were obviously the rules revised by the Taoist ancestors, making the innate realm more suitable for outsiders to enter. The source man is gone. Yi Tian probed around and said secretly. Obviously, the Shantian realm has lost the usefulness of training combat skills. In fact, the training of combat skills is not very helpful. The reason why he has obtained amazing benefits in the Shantian world is that he can copy the perfect talents of the original people in the Shantian world. This is his biggest gain. And other people can't copy the talent, naturally don't care about the source. Wonderful way. A voice came. Yi Tian found the goddess Yunzi, who was walking towards him. It turned out to be the goddess Yunzi. Yi Tian said with a smile. Wan Fa Daozi, I only dare to talk to you in the Shantian realm. Now you are the monarch at the top of the list of celestial monarchs, and I am still a god general. Goddess Yunzi sighed. Where is the goddess Yunzi? With your talent, it will be easy to enter the heavenly sovereign ranking in the future. I don't know how much the goddess Yunzi knows about the Shantian realm. Do you have any inside information? Yi Tian asked curiously. That's the master of Daozi Wanfa, isn't there any insider information? Goddess Yunzi was surprised. No, Yi Tian said embarrassedly. From the discovery of the innate source tree to the present, his master has not informed him, nor has he talked to him. However, his master knew that he possessed a lot of origin talents, and perhaps felt that the innate origin tree was not very helpful to him, so he felt that there was no need to introduce the situation of the innate world to him. Goddess Yunzi did not continue to ask, but began to introduce to Yi Tian. Wanfa Daozi, the current rules of the innate world have changed. There is a huge and incomparable source world inside the innate source tree. We can enter it and challenge some innate sources. People, killing the source person can absorb a ray of innate source energy from the opponent, thereby slowly transforming the source talent. However, the source person is very powerful, and our cultivation in the Shantian world can only reach the peak of the earth, and only bring the talent came, but he did not bring other magical powers and secret skills, and the combat skills of the innate source people are terrible. Their cultivation base is comparable to ours, but their combat power is far superior to us. In addition, we can't stay in the innate world for a long time, as short as 100 years. After 1,000 years, we will be excluded, and even Daozu can't do anything about it. After all, Daozu can only change the rules of the innate world a little bit. If you force all the changes, the innate world will collapse and all opportunities will be empty. So it is. Yi Tian suddenly realized. Based on this information, it is more difficult for other people to obtain the original talent in the Shantian world. It is difficult for other people to obtain the original talent if they are not true geniuses and talent monsters. Moreover, it is not bad that the innate origin she obtained can transform a talent, and it is impossible to change all the talents into the original talent like him. In that case, my advantage is still far ahead of others. Yi Tian thought to himself. Master Wanfa, the time in the Shantian world is very precious, and we can't waste it. According to what my master said, if our strength continues to increase, the time spent in the Shantian world will also increase. If the progress is fast, maybe it can stay for more than 1,000 years. Let's not talk about it, I have to create a secret technique suitable for the innate world. After saying that, the goddess Yunzi said goodbye and left. Chapter 914 The Super God Level Super Comprehension Talent, get it? Third. The time of the goddess Yunzi is rare in the Shantian world, but Yi Tian is not very rare. He doesn't care about the chance of the Shantian world. The reason why he wants to enter the Shantian world is to copy other people's talents. Copy talent, shrouded, Yi Tian enveloped the whole city and checked everyone's talents one by one. It has to be said that the powerhouses who are qualified to enter the Shantian realm are very talented, and many of them are very ancient powerhouses, so their talents are naturally not simple. 3 God-level super comprehension talents. Yi Tian was quite surprised, knowing that the Shantian realm has just opened. There must be many people who have not come to the Shantian realm, but he did not expect to find 3 God-level super enlightenment talents now, and they are the 3 other than the goddess Yunzi. A transcendent talent. Copy. 1. Copy. 1. Copy. Yi Tian copied these 3 God-level super comprehension talents into his hands. Although he combined these 3 God-level super comprehension talents, he couldn't raise his God-level super comprehension talent to super God level, but at least it would be stronger than before. Even if only a little bit of improvement, that's pretty good. Wrong. It's a pity that I didn't see the super God level super enlightenment talent. Yi Tian secretly said. However, this is also very normal. The super God level super comprehension talent is so terrible. If someone really possesses this kind of talent, it must not be an ordinary Tianzhao. Although the comprehension is not absolute, but with the super God level super comprehension talent, the comprehension must not be bad. As long as the luck is not bad, the Taoist will basically be accepted as a disciple. Time passed by, and with the help of Taoist ancestors, the famous existences in the chaos entered the innate world, cultivated here with the cultivation of the earth, and entered the source world. Everyone wants to get the source talent. Even if someone has one source talent, they will definitely want the second source talent. Except for Daozu, I am afraid that no one is unwilling to enter the Shantian realm. It can be said that the powerhouses related to the entire chaos have come to the Shantian world. Hundreds of billions of powerhouse consciousness gathered in the Shantian world, making Yi Tian truly realize how many powerhouses are in chaos. At present, those powerhouses in the great universe are just a drop in the chaotic ocean. There are quite a few talents copied, and even a few rare talents, but so far I haven't encountered one of the super God level perception talents. Yi Tian regretted. If it can be copied to the super God level super enlightenment talent, that is the real big profit. Suddenly, Yi Tian was stunned, and the person who had just entered caught his attention. Super God level super intellectual talent. Yi Tian was so excited that he instantly copied the opponent's super God level super comprehension talent, for fear that this person would disappear in an instant. He didn't pay attention to the person's name and other talents until the talent was copied successfully. Bansheng, who is this person? Yi Tian could only see the person's name and talent, but he didn't know anything about his origins. It happened that Yanglong Tianjin was also in the Shantian realm, so Yi Tian sent a message to Yanglong Tianjin and asked him the origin of the barbarian. He originally thought that Yanglong Tianjin didn't know Mansheng. After all, the chaos is too big, and it's normal to not know each other. But he didn't expect that Yanglong Tianjin really knew the situation of barbarian. Master, barbarian is very famous in the chaos. He is a true ancestor, but he is the most unfortunate true ancestor, and also the most unfortunate true ancestor. He is the ancestor of the barbarian Protoss in the chaos. The barbarian's talent is really good, and his understanding is very evil. He can easily cultivate a chaotic supernatural power to the limit level. There is even a power source talent, which created a power source magic power, and cultivated this power source magic power to a very high level. The reason why he is a pity is because the birth of the ancestors was not good. It is chaos, a small chaos. The natives of the mainland, the barbarian god race he was in was only a small race. There was no chaotic life, and the most powerful ones were only half-step chaotic life at the level of the earth. His foundation was not very good, and he didn't stay at the level of gods and generals, so he hit the destiny realm very early. This made the foundation of the ancestors very poor, and even the ordinary genius in the chaos was inferior. Later, the ancestors he has obtained some good inheritance, and even practiced a lot of chaotic supernatural powers, but the foundation is the foundation. If the foundation is not good, the potential is not enough, and no matter how good the comprehension is, it is difficult to achieve. Therefore, the barbarian ancestors did not have Taoist masters, even when they were weak. Even the true ancestor doesn't look down on the barbarian ancestor. Over the long years, the barbarian ancestor has made progress step by step, and finally became the true ancestor. He also spent a lot of money to make up for a little foundation, but in the end, he still couldn't be promoted to the true ancestor with the 9 stars God General. Comparable. Therefore, it is a pity for the ancestors, otherwise, with his talent, if he worships a Taoist ancestor as his teacher, even if he cannot become a Taoist ancestor, he must be the most powerful true ancestor. After listening to Yanglong Tianjin's message, Yi Tian also felt pity for this barbarian ancestor. It is very lucky to have a super god level super comprehension talent, but I didn't expect that because of the poor foundation, it can only become the top level among the true ancestors, and it is difficult to become the strongest true ancestor. Although the barbarian ancestor is still far ahead of countless true ancestors, compared to those invincible true ancestors who can leapfrog and kill weak Tao ancestors, the barbarian ancestor is still too weak. My luck is really good. Not only did I have the talent for copying, but I also worshipped a Taoist ancestor as a teacher. There is no shortage of talents, opportunities, and backgrounds. If I didn't have a master, I might have the same shortcomings as the ancestors. Yi Tian thought to himself. In the following days, Yi Tian also pretended to enter the source world, beheading the innate source people to obtain the innate source chi, although the congenital source chi did not help him, but if he did not enter the source world, it would arouse suspicion from others. Years passed, and Yi Tian, except for the occasional entry into the source world, spent the rest of his time on copying talent. Before you know it, hundreds of years have passed. On this day, Yi Tian came out from the Shantian realm. Since I copied the super god level super comprehension talent, I haven't encountered the super god level comprehension talent again. Or some Taoist ancestors have super god level super comprehension talent, but I can't get in touch with the real body of the Taoist ancestor. Forget it, I can copy it to a super god level super comprehension talent is already very good, you can't be too greedy. Yi Tian secretly said. For flowers. Returning to the Hall of Void Heaven, Yi Tian retreated again. On this day, he plans to cultivate the eternal immortality technique to the realm of great achievement. Super god level super comprehension talent, open. Enlightenment will never put out fire. As soon as Yi Tian comprehended, he suddenly felt that his comprehension had improved too much, and the eternal and extinguishable chaotic supernatural power of Shaocheng's peak realm, who had fallen into a bottleneck, gradually began to improve. After thousands of years, Yi Tian broke the shackles and raised the chaotic supernatural power of eternal immortality to the Dacheng realm, and his strength suddenly skyrocketed. What a terrifying super god level super comprehension talent, I didn't expect that I could easily upgrade the chaotic supernatural power of never extinguishing the fire to the realm of Dacheng. Yi Tian is excited. Immediately, he felt that he could work hard and strive to elevate the eternal immortality to the perfect realm. In that case, his strength would inevitably rise to a terrifying level. 0. As time passed slowly, the discussion about the innate world in the big universe did not stop for a moment. Everyone is discussing who has obtained a source talent. Obtaining a source talent is definitely something to be proud of. Once you become the true ancestor, whether there is a source talent is one of the criteria for measuring strength. With the source talent, you can create the source magic power. Even the worst source magic power is far more powerful than the chaos magic power. It is worth mentioning that the goddess Yunzi of the God of War Tower became famous during this period, and she was famous in the universe and even the entire chaos. Because the goddess Yunzi has obtained the source talent, and she has 2 source talents. One is the ice element origin talent, and the other is the power origin talent. It is already very scary to be able to acquire 1 source talent, let alone acquire 2 source talents at once. The most terrifying thing is that the barbarian ancestors, in the Shantian world, suddenly obtained the 4 origin talents. Although barbarian ancestors' foundation is not good, but he has obtained 4 origin talents all at once, barbarian ancestor can create a lot of origin divine ability again, so that his strength can be raised to a new level. As for Yi Tian, although his strength improved very quickly, many people felt that Yi Tian was only at the heavenly monarch level. Once he reached the true ancestor level and his potential reached the end, it would be difficult for him to be comparable to others. because they felt that Yi Tian had no original talent, and would not be able to create the original supernatural power in the future. Yi Tian paid no attention to these rumors, he would not take the initiative to reveal the secret that he possessed the full source talent. And the best way to break the rumors is strength. The strength of the top 50 on the Tianjin ranking is not enough, then the top 20, the top 10, or even the first on the Tianjin ranking. When his strength reaches a certain level, no one dares to underestimate him, and no one dares to spread rumors. After tens of thousands of years, Yi Tian finally raised the eternal immortality to the perfect state. Although it is still far from the limit level, Yi Tian's strength has improved too much. 13th on the Tianjin ranking, this is Yi Tian's current ranking. This strength is enough to suffocate countless heavenly monarchs. Chapter 915 Target, 10 Xinghai. First update. The 13th place on the Tianjin list, but it's still not enough. Yi Tian muttered, his goal is not the mere 13th, but the first. However, his physical body is far from reaching the limit, and there is still a great improvement in chaos divine ability. In addition, various secret techniques can also continue to improve. In short, there are still many things he needs to improve. There is still a lack of resources. The 9th layer of Xuanshu art consumes too many resources. If you want to cultivate Xuanshu art to a small achievement, a large achievement, or even a perfect state, those resources need to spend at least tens of millions of points. This is not an exaggeration, but a fact. This is only the consumption of Xuanshu art, and the consumption of other aspects is not low. It can be said that at the level of Yi Tian, every increase in strength needs to consume countless resources, and generally Tianjin can't afford it. A big universe, a small world. 230. An incarnation of Yanglong Tianjin descended here and waited silently here. Suddenly, the space ripples, and Yi Tian's figure appears. When Yanglong Tianjin saw that Yi Tian was traveling through the Great Realm, he was immediately envious. However, he also knew his own abilities, and he could not meet the cultivation conditions by transferring the inheritance to the Great Realm. Yanglong, I came to you this time to ask you, where in the universe there are treasures rich in resources. I need a lot of resources now, otherwise I can't maintain fast cultivation. Yi Tian said directly. Master, the birth of the big universe is not very long, many treasures are being conceived, and there are not many precious treasures. It is difficult to find suitable treasures, and the treasures that have appeared are basically occupied by major forces. There is a powerful Tianjin in charge and a large array to guard. Yanglong Tianjin Dao. Yi Tian frowned upon hearing this. He also knows that it is not easy to obtain a lot of resources, otherwise, the other heavenly monarchs will not be short of resources. But he didn't want to cultivate slowly, spending tens of millions of years or even hundreds of millions of years to cultivate the 9th level of Xuanshu art. It seems that we must snatch the resource points of other major forces. Yi Tian decided. Yanglong, you collect information for me. Pay attention to concealment. All the forces that do not have a good relationship with the Zushan lineage, collect all their resource treasures information, and then give it to me. Yi Tian commanded. Yes. Yanglong Tianjin was startled and responded quickly. He knew that Yi Tian probably wanted to do something with those resource treasures, but in this way, once it was discovered, it would be completely troublesome. Although the big universe is very chaotic now, there are fights everywhere, but there is still no large-scale fights, and the ones who die are basically the weaker heavenly sovereigns, gods, and earthly venerables. Of course, Yi Tian's order, he did not dare not obey. Wow, the incarnation of Yanglong Tianjin dissipated, and Yi Tian also cast the Great Realm to move away from here. A few years later, Yanglong Tianjin sent a detailed resource, which was information about some precious resource treasures of the major forces. These treasures contain a lot of resources, not to mention the resources that have not grown up, just the resources that have grown. Each treasured land is worth more than 1 million points. Some treasures with few resources, Yanglong Tianjin didn't mention them at all, because he knew how huge the resources Yi Tian needed, and naturally did not dare to use some less important resources to fool Yi Tian. With more than 100 treasures, I didn't expect so many resource-rich treasures in the universe. Yi Tian was quite surprised. But think about it carefully, how big the big universe is, and how powerful the Zushan lineage is. It only occupies a small area, and it is not worth mentioning compared with the entire big universe. In such a huge universe, there are definitely many treasures that the Zushan lineage has not discovered. Moreover, Yi Tian doesn't know much about the treasure land situation in the universe, and what kind of detailed information, so it's normal not to know. According to Yanglong's estimation, There are 7 treasures with a value of more than 10 million points, one of which is occupied by the Zushan lineage, and a large number of Tianjin are guarding there. 1. Yi Tian knew that the treasure place guarded by Zushan's lineage, called Gu Haiji, happened to be near the territory of Zushan Temple, so Zushan Temple spent a huge price to occupy this world treasure. Now the third Tianjin has been guarding in the ancient sea world, and half of the resources of the ancient sea world are attributed to the moon-swallowing Tianjin, and some other resources are shared by many Tianjin in the virtual hall according to a certain proportion. Yi Tian also has a small share, but the proportion is too small. The reason is that when the ancient sea world was captured, the Zushan lineage fought with several major forces. At that time, Yi Tian was still in retreat and cultivating. I don't know, so I didn't attend. Therefore, it is naturally impossible for him to gain too much share, otherwise other people will surely be dissatisfied. I can't count on the ancient sea world, even if my strength is stronger than Tianjin in the future. I'm embarrassed to grab Tianjin's resources, so I have to fight for the resources myself. Yi Tian thought to himself. Then, his eyes fixed on the information of the other 7 treasures. Soon, he locked one of the treasures. 10-star sea. 10-star sea is an ocean located in the starry sky, surrounded by 10 huge stars surrounding 10-star sea, which is why 10-star sea has such a name. In the beginning, Shixinghai was not famous, but more than 1 million years ago, Shixinghai was discovered to have a rare resource Xingqiansha, located at the bottom of Shixinghai. As a result, 10 Xinghai became a top treasure. In Zushan Yimai, a pound of 10-star sand is worth 1 point, and how many points should a 10-star sea be worth? 10 million points is just an imaginary point, in fact it is far more than 10 million points. However, it is more troublesome to collect Xingqian sand. It is not like collecting ordinary things, you can easily take it away. If you can easily take away the star sand, then you don't need to collect it slowly. With the strength of a group of heavenly monarchs, you can light the star sand in the 10-star sea in a very short time. Xingqian sand looks similar to sand, but it is very special. It cannot be directly touched with hands, and it is difficult to directly ingest it with other objects. Xingqiansha is hidden in the water, and it is difficult to detect and touch with spiritual consciousness. Only Zan Xingqian can grab Xingqiansha. Because of this, the demonic sound sect, which occupies 5.8 stars, has difficulty collecting the stars, and only sent a few heavenly monarchs who can master the chaotic supernatural powers of stars, and a group of earth lords and gods who can master the supernatural powers of the stars to collect the stars slowly. Sand. But a god general, even if he has the supernatural powers of the stars, it will take tens of thousands of years to collect a pound of star sand, and it is impossible for the gods to not practice. Therefore, the demonic sound sect has occupied the 10-star sea for more than 1 million years, and has not collected many stars and sand. Therefore, the 10-star sea definitely contains a lot of star sand. In addition, due to the characteristics of Xingqian sand, the demonic sound sect's monitoring of the 10 Xinghai is not very strict. After all, the demonic sound sect feels that even if other heavenly monarchs want to steal Xingqian sand, it will take a long time. After such a long time of stealing, the demonic sound sect can easily find out, and there is no need to monitor Xinghai all the time. Just choose the 10 Xinghai of the demonic sound sect, it is so suitable for me. Yi Tian said with a smile. Chapter 916 The seriously underestimated 10-star sea. Second. Collecting star sand requires great supernatural powers or chaotic supernatural powers of stars, and Yi Tian happens to know this type of chaotic supernatural powers. He had previously cultivated a chaotic supernatural power called Starlight Exterminating Hand, which was a chaotic supernatural power of the stars class, and was ranked 1221 Street. Only a very small number of heavenly sovereigns can practice Chaos Divine ability, and even the vast majority of heavenly sovereigns who have practiced Chaos Divine ability are not in the mainstream of Chaos Divine ability, that is, they do not enter the list of 3000 Chaos Divine ability. The Starlight Extermination Hand is already very good in the chaotic supernatural power, and its power is not bad. It is impossible for other heavenly sovereigns to cultivate powerful star powers exclusively for Xingqiansha, so Yi Tian's advantage is too great. In addition, he can easily sneak into the 10-star sea, and with his ability to conceal his aura and whereabouts, it is difficult for the demonic sound sect to find his whereabouts. At the beginning, he assassinated the Heavenly Lord of the Heavenly Fire sect, and the Heavenly Lords of the Heavenly Fire sect were unable to find him. Therefore, he is not worried that he will be discovered by the demonic sound sect. If you can't find it, the starlight will destroy the hand again, so the speed of collecting the stars and sand is absolutely terrifying. I hope to have a great harvest in the 10 Xinghai Sea. Yi Tian expects. 10-star sea. The demonic sound sect was shocked by the 10 stars, and arranged an astonishing array of stars, covering the entire 10-star sea. And there are 10 palaces on the 10 stars, and each palace has a heavenly monarch, and there is even a heavenly lord on the list of heavenly lords. With this amazing array of stars, even the heavenly monarch at the top of the list of heavenly lords is not way to get in. Moreover, the 10 Xinghai is within the territory of the demonic sound sect, and the heavenly monarch of the demonic sound sect can come to support at any time, so the demonic sound sect is not afraid of people from other forces to attack the 10 Xinghai. In addition, it is not easy to collect Xingchen sand in 10 Xinghai, and it will take a long time. Therefore, as long as the demonic sound sect is not destroyed, the 10-star seas cannot be lost. However, when the demonic sound sect didn't expect it, Yi Tian had his eyes on Shi Xinghai. 10-star overseas, Yi Tian's figure appeared, and he used a hidden chaotic supernatural power to cover his figure, and used the ever-changing magic mirror to change his soul aura. Even if the concealment of supernatural powers does not work, it is difficult for others to detect his true identity. This great formation is extraordinary, I'm afraid it will be difficult to enter directly. Yi Tian muttered. Although he can shuttle in, but it will leave space fluctuations, the heavenly monarchs of the demonic sect are not stupid, and it is impossible for them not to find out. Wait, the people of the demonic sect will definitely start the big formation to enter and exit. When the big formation is opened, I will use the time-space transfer technique to move in. Even if there will be spatial fluctuations, it will be mixed with the opening of the big formation. It is not easy. Be found. Yi Tian estimated, and this is thousands of years. This day, the heavenly sovereigns of the demonic sound sect opened a great formation, and let the gods and heavenly sovereigns who collected Xingchen come out from the 10 Xinghai Sea. And at the moment when the big formation opened, Yi Tian used time-space teleportation to shuttle into the 10-star sea. At the same time, a heavenly monarch guarding the 10 Xinghai frowned. He is the 801st ranked Wanyan Tianjin on the Tianjin list, and his strength is not weak, but just now, he suddenly sensed that the spatial fluctuations opened by the star formation seemed to be a little different from usual. Immediately, his divine sense probed away, but found nothing. Immediately, his divine sense combined with the great array of stars to monitor the 10-star sea area, but still found nothing. It should be a normal change in the star formation. It is normal for such a big formation to fluctuate a little. Wanyan Tianjin guessed so. Immediately, he didn't care, closed his eyes and pondered, and began to comprehend one of his own chaotic supernatural powers. 10-star sea, deep. Yi Tian merged into the sea water of the 10-star sea with the water system chaotic supernatural power, and concealed his breath, and did not move at all to prevent himself from being discovered. After a long time, he began to look for Xingchen. Xingchen is also not easy to find. Only those who have cultivated the supernatural powers of Xingchen will have a weak sense. Otherwise, they can only find out a trace of it by investigating the spiritual sense at close range. However, the area of the 10-star sea is also very large. How long would it take to detect an inch of space by just relying on divine sense? Yi Tian has become a starlight extermination hand, which is a powerful supernatural power ranked more than 1,000th among the 3,000 chaotic supernatural powers, and his sense of Xingchen is naturally far more than others. Immediately, Yi Tian activated the star sensor of the starlight extinction hand, and sensed the stars and sand on the bottom of the 10-star sea. Being able to sense a range of millions of miles is enough. Yi Tian secretly said, "Wow, in the million-mile star sensing field, the positions of grains of star sand are revealed in Yi Tian's induction. There are a lot of star sands, at least 1 or 2 grains of star sand, and some large ones even weigh half a caddy. It is estimated that the star sand within this million miles is tens of thousands of caddies." Yi Tian judged. What is the concept of tens of thousands of caddies of star sand? That is, it is like tens of thousands of points. With the speed at which Yi Tian collects the stars, it won't take long to collect these stars, at most a few months. Earning tens of thousands of points in a few months is not slow anymore. At the beginning, Taya Sunstar's resources were also very rich, but too many heavenly monarchs competed with him, and countless heavenly sovereigns collected resources, but in the later stage there were no resources. But it's different here. There are not many heavenly sovereigns who can compete with Yi Tian, let alone those divine generals. It is very difficult to collect a grain of star sand. Ha ha ha, as long as I don't get discovered, with my ability, I can definitely make a lot of money here. Yi Tian was quite excited. Before the first sand, the hand, but the size of the kitchen is controlled, otherwise the full version of the Starlight Extermination hand can be easily played in the hand, and even covering a small half of the 10-star C is not a problem. How dazzling are so many Starlight Extinguishing hands, even a fool can find his whereabouts. Boom, a Starlight Extinction hand the size of a normal person, under the control of Yi Tian, pinched the star sand, and began to peel from the water and the void little by little. The star sand turns into stars when it enters the water, just like the planet is located in the starry sky and is connected to the starry sky, and the star sand is also embedded in the seabed water and the void of the 10-star sea lake. If you want to take it away, you must isolate the void and seawater, and then send it entering the water in the space within one's own body can be regarded as officially taking away the sand of stars. Yi Tian had already prepared something to store the stars and sand. It was a chaotic treasure called the star pot. It contained a lake that contained the power of the stars. It was the most suitable storage for the stars. Time passed, and the Xingqian sand was shaken by Yi Tian, and it began to be isolated from this void, and even began to split with the sea water, as if it had turned into a real grain of sand. After a long time, the first grain of star sand was taken out and put into the star pot by Yi Tian. In the following days, Yi Tian took away grains of star sand, and there were more and more stars in the star pot. 100 pounds, 1,000 pounds, 10,000 pounds, 100,000 pounds, 200,000 pounds, 500,000 pounds, 1 million pounds. With the passage of time, Yi Tian has collected as many as 10 seas of stars. In 10 years, Yi Tian has collected at least 2 million caddies of Xingqian sand, which is equivalent to earning 2 million points. Originally, Yi Tian planned to keep collecting like this, and only Xingqiansha who was worth collecting enough 10 million points would be ready to leave. But this day, Yi Tian noticed something unusual. Another great formation. Yi Tian was shocked. The area in the central area of Ten Xinghai was cut off by a large formation, and this formation was very extraordinary, with almost no fluctuations. If Yi Tian's spirit was strong, he could detect a trace of strangeness, otherwise he would not be able to find it. Obviously, the heavenly monarch who arranged this great formation definitely has unimaginable achievements on the formation path. Strange, the demonic sound sect has already arranged a great array of stars to cover the 10-star sea, and the 10-star sea has completely fallen into the hands of the demonic sound sect. Why do they have to pay a huge price to set up a large array in the central waters of the 10-star sea? Yi Tian was curious. Could it be that there are amazing treasures in this area? Yi Tian thought. So, Yi Tian began to study this great formation. After a long time, Yi Tian really came up with a clue. This big formation only has the effect of concealment and isolation, and contains the power of the space avenue, but it does not have a strong defense effect of 230. With his current strength, he can break the big formation and enter the inner area. But in this way, he will undoubtedly be exposed. If there are amazing treasures in it, he will undoubtedly earn it. But if there are no treasures in it, he can no longer collect Xingqian sand in the 10 Xinghai Sea, which is undoubtedly a loss. Don't worry, collect Xingqian sand first, and after you have collected enough Xingqian sand, consider whether you can enter it or not. Yi Tian thought to himself. Year after year passed. Yi Tian kept collecting the stars and sand in the 10 Xinghai Sea, and kept avoiding other heavenly monarchs and divine generals, and his life was extremely tense, for fear that he would be discovered if he didn't settle down. Gradually, Yi Tian collected nearly 10 million caddies of star sand, and 150 years have passed. 10 Xinghai was collected by Yi Tian and took away so many stars, but there are still many stars. Only then did Yi Tian realize how huge the value of this 10-star sea is, far more than 10 million points. It is estimated to be worth hundreds of millions of points, and it is also a treasure of sustainable development, and the value is estimated to be several times more. I underestimated Shi Xinghai. It is estimated that other forces do not know that the value of Shi Xinghai is so high, otherwise it is estimated that they will attack Shi Xinghai at all costs. Yi Tian suddenly thought. Some days passed. Yi Tian has almost finished collecting the areas of the 10 Xinghai Sea that are rich in star sand, and the star sand in other areas is relatively sparse. If you want to collect it, it will take more time. In addition, Yi Tian has collected enough 10 million caddies of star sand, so he is not going to collect any more. It's not that he doesn't want to continue collecting, but that if he collects too much, the demonic sound sect will definitely find out. They are not stupid, and the production of 10-star sea star sand has dropped again and again, can you not doubt it? Azong has begun to suspect, and Tian has already felt that investigations are coming every few days. If his concealment is not strong enough, he would have been discovered long ago. You have to go, but before you leave, you have to enter the inside of that great formation to have a look. Yi Tian secretly said. Chapter 917 Greedy Yi Tian. Chapter 3. Before the big battle, Yi Tian gathered strength and bombarded the great formation with a powerful kendo supernatural power. He doesn't use kendo supernatural powers very often, even if he is exposed, no one will think of him. The defense of the big array is not strong, and he does not need to use eternal fire and other means. Boom, there was a hole in the big formation, the formation barrier was blasted, and Yi Tian entered the big formation instantly. At the same time, the heavenly monarchs of the demonic sound sect guarding the 10-star seas noticed it, and they were extremely angry. No, someone broke into the secret place. Wanyan Tianjin and other Tianjin hurriedly opened the star formation and rushed towards the 10-star sea at the fastest speed. They know very well what is in the secret place, and once it is lost, something big will happen. Even if their status in the demonic sound sect is not low, they have to suffer huge punishments. Within a large array, as soon as Yi Tian came in, he saw that there were crystals exuding the light of stars on the bottom of the sea. Star crystal. Yi Tian's expression changed greatly. Star crystal is an extremely precious material, far surpassing star sand. Xingqian sand can be used to refine weapons, and it can also be used to form formations. Even some strong people who cultivate special star physiques also need Xingqian sand. Because of this, the value of Xingqiansha is very high, and only 1 kilogram needs a virtual sky point. But the value of Xingqian crystal is far above Xingqian sand. In the virtual sky point system, Xingqian crystal belongs to the state of being valuable and out of stock. A star crystal the size of a little finger cap is worth more than 10,000 points, and a fist-sized star crystal is probably worth close to 1 million points. Its main function is to refine Dao artifacts, and it can also be used to assist in the cultivation of special physiques. For example, if some powerful star physiques want to break through the shackles and reach a higher level, they also need star crystals, and star sand has no effect. Throughout the chaos, star crystals have always been in short supply, and even the Zushan vein is seriously lacking star crystals. It is one of the most practical but rare treasures. But there are densely packed star crystals, no less than tens of thousands. And the smallest is the size of a fist, and the largest is probably the height of a person. So many star crystals, how valuable is it? Using billions as a unit can describe the value of these star crystals. Yi Tian said in shock. However, what shocked Yi Tian even more was the fact that it was in the most central seabed of this sea area. A basketball-sized bead was suspended there. It was somewhat illusory, and it was constantly absorbing the surrounding energy, fully conceived. Seeing it, Yi Tian's pupils shrank. Star G. Legend has it that even the Taoist ancestors have to snatch the supreme treasure. Once it is refined, it can become the supreme treasure of the star supreme body, a Taoist weapon worth a piece. Yi Tian was heartbroken and could not wait to take it away. But he couldn't take it away, not to mention that the star DZI had not been conceived yet. Even if it was conceived, he couldn't take it away. The difficulty of taking out the star G is not known to be many times that of Xingqiansha. With his current cultivation base and the starlight extermination hand, he cannot even shake the star G. Even if he wants to take away the star crystal, it is more difficult, and it is also very difficult to take away this thing. Otherwise, the demonic sound sect would not allow these star crystals to be here. If they could be taken away, they would have taken it away long ago. Although my starlight extinguishing hand has not practiced very much, it has now reached the realm of small success, and maybe I can take some star crystals. Yi Tian thought to himself. Immediately, he began to cast the starlight extinction hand, covering hundreds of star crystals at once. Boom, Xingqianjing did not shake. No, it's unrealistic to take so many star crystals at once, take less. Yi Tian controlled the range of the starlight extinguishing hand, covering 20 star crystals, and this time finally shook these star crystals. Time, I need time. Yi Tian urged Xingqianjing with all his strength, roaring inwardly. However, at this time, the heavenly monarchs of the demonic sect had already arrived. They want to enter this secret place and stop Yi Tian. Who are you, who dares to break into the secret place of our demonic sect? You are doomed. The voice of Wanyan Tianjin came in. Boom, the void is blocked, and the star formation is suppressed. The heavenly monarchs of the demonic sound sect blocked this area, not allowing Yi Tian to escape, and even isolating the power of the great Tao such as karma, time and space, etc. One of such isolation methods, it is unrealistic to send a message out. This is also one of the methods that the demonic sound sect prepared early, for fear that someone would discover the star crystals and star beads in the secret place, thus revealing the secret. As long as the message cannot be spread, and they kill the intruders again, the secrets here cannot be revealed. Unless you leave now, you can't hide your identity. Yi Tian hesitated, but as soon as he saw so many star crystals, he no longer thought about it. If I reveal my identity, I will reveal my identity. If I get enough star crystals, I can improve my strength in a short period of time, and I will not be afraid of anyone at that time. Yi Tian said. Boom. The blood river inextinguishable technique was deployed, and a blood river covered the secret place, and other heavenly monarchs were not allowed to enter. Now, the information of Yi Tian's blood river inextinguishable technique has been leaked long ago, and it was the Tianmo sect that leaked it, so the blood river inextinguishable technique is also one of Yi Tian's famous chaotic supernatural powers. The heavenly monarchs of the heavenly fire sect recognized Yi Tian as soon as they saw the blood river inextinguishable technique. Blood river inextinguishable technique, you are the Daozi of 10,000 laws. Tianjin Wanyan frowned. This is the 13th terrifying Tianjin on the Tianjin list, and they are not opponents at all. If Yi Tian shot, they decided to die. For a moment, they hesitated. Huan Yin, Wanfa Daozi is collecting Xingqian crystal, he can shake Xingqian crystal. 1. A Tianjin used his pupil technique, and his eyes looked through the blood river to see the scene of Yi Tian collecting the star crystals. What? Wanfa Daozi can collect star crystals? Damn, he can use the chaotic supernatural powers of stars. Wanyan Tianjin was furious. The value of the star crystal is so high, even if it loses one, the demonic sound sect has suffered heavy losses. No matter how powerful the chaotic supernatural power of Wanfa Daozi is, it will take time to collect the star crystals. When other heavenly monarchs arrive, they will besiege him. Wanyan Tianjin sent a message to other Tianjin, said. Not long after, the heavenly monarchs came. The demonic sound sect is not a small force. It is also a powerful force with several Taoist ancestors in the chaos. It is not weaker than the Zushan lineage at all. Even at the level of Tianjin, the demonic sound school can slightly suppress the Zushan lineage. One of Zushan Yimai's biggest competitors. This time, one of the heavenly sovereigns who came from the demonic sect included 4 or 5 heavenly sovereigns, and the most powerful one was a half-step true spirit realm expert, and he was promoted from a dozen of the heavenly sovereigns. The half-step true spirit powerhouse who came up, Baili Tianjin. Baili Tianjin is already a half-step true spirit. Although he is not a true spirit, he can definitely become a true spirit. Therefore, he is now called Baili Zhenjin. Master Baili Zhenjin, the enemy is the Daozi of Wanfa. Wanyan Tianjunwei reports. What? The Daozi of Wanfa? Zhenjin Baili was shocked. This is the Daozi of Wanfa, who is known as the heavenly monarch who can't be killed, and his life-saving ability is very strong. Even if he is the Daozi of Wanfa and dares to steal the star crystal of our demonic sect, he must die. True monarch Baili took action and punched Yi Tian with a punch. Boom. The blood river was penetrated and hit Yi Tian directly. But Yi Tian relied on the blood river indestructible technique and many other defensive magical powers to resist them one by one. Seeing this scene, many heavenly monarchs of demon sound sect were shocked. That is true monarch Baili, his strength is much stronger than Yi Tian, and he has not been able to break Yi Tian's defense. Attack together, Baili Zhenjin ordered. If Wanfa Daozi is released, our demonic sound sect will not be able to keep Shili Si, and Daozu will be angry. Yes, many gods responded. One after another, the heavenly monarchs took action, including several other weaker half-step true spirit powerhouses. There are hundreds of heavenly monarchs here, and the power of Chi-Chi's shots shook the entire Shili Si, and the huge Shili Si seemed to be shattered. But Shili Si can breed star crystals and star DZI beads. Naturally it is not a simple ocean, and it can easily defend against the attacks of many powerhouses. Under the siege of so many heavenly monarchs and half-step true spirits, Yi Tian was injured and his defense was indeed broken, but with the characteristics of immortality, Yi Tian persisted. Several Tianjin wanted to enter the secret place and drive Yi Tian out of the secret place. But as soon as they came in, Yi Good Tian launched the eternal fire. Wow! Several heavenly monarchs were shrouded in eternal fire and began to burn. Ah! Along with a scream, several powerful heavenly monarchs fell one after another, including a half-step true spirit and a heavenly monarch list heavenly monarch. No, he will never put out the fire, and he will never put out the fire in the perfect state. Zhenjin Bailey reminded. After the tragic scene just now, the other heavenly monarchs did not dare to approach Yi Tian anymore, but attacked from a distance, preparing to consume Yi Tian to death. Whoever is about to be promoted to half-step true spirit, give me a breakthrough immediately. Zhenjin Bailey ordered. Immediately, dozens of monarchs headed by Wanyan Tianjin also broke through. Boom! An aura that belonged to the half-step true spirit realm erupted, and each of them condensed true spirits in a short period of time. Their strength skyrocketed and immediately joined the battle group to besiege Yi Tian. Under such circumstances, Yi Tian was under enormous pressure, and his body was blown up again and again. As time passed, Yi Tian's injury became more and more serious. At this time, he has no way to communicate to others, he can only rely on himself. On this day half a month later, Yi Tian was pleasantly surprised that he finally received these 20 star crystals. Go ahead, Yi Tian said greedily. Chapter 918 Out of the Sea of 10 Stars. First update. Yi Tian doesn't want to give up this opportunity. Once he leaves here, he will definitely be fully targeted by the demonic sound sect. If he does not want the human race to be implicated, he must expose Xingchenjing and attract other forces to deal with the demonic sound. Zong. Moreover, he can also obtain the full support of the Zushan Temple, so as to bless the human race, otherwise he alone cannot bless the human race. But at that time, it will be very difficult for him to obtain Xingchen crystals. With so many forces united, there are not many Xingchen crystals to share with each force. And there may be only a few star crystals allocated to him, or even less. Therefore, he must obtain a large amount of star crystals at one time, even if he pays the price, he is willing. Yi Tian resisted desperately, and the people of the demonic sect attacked desperately. In order to kill Yi Tian, all the heavenly monarchs of the demonic sound sect came one after another, and even the gods were sent. No matter what, it's okay to add a touch of attack. The demonic sound sect mobilized its staff on such a large scale that almost the entire headquarters powerhouses went to the 10-star seas. Naturally, this move could not hide the people from other major forces. For a while, people from other forces also rushed to 10-star sea one after another. Soon, they knew that the powerhouse of the demonic sound sect had launched an attack in Shixinghai, but no one knew what the specific situation was. Judging from the battle situation, it was the powerhouses of the demonic sect who were attacking someone. But this is very strange. 230 It stands to reason that even if a mere 10 Xinghai is of great value, it is not easy to collect Xingchen sand. Even if someone comes to steal Xingchen sand, everyone in the entire force will not come here to protect it. If the demonic sound sect did this, wouldn't they be afraid that the treasures in other places would be taken away by other forces? Wouldn't they be afraid that the headquarters would be destroyed? Many forces suddenly felt that the demonic sound sect was weird, and that something big must have happened in the 10 Xinghai Sea, and it was not an ordinary big event, but a big event worthy of the entire demonic sound sect. 10-star overseas. When a powerful heavenly sovereign arrives, they are basically the top 100 heavenly sovereigns on the heavenly army ranking, and there are even many who are half-step true spirit realm. One by one, they tried to penetrate the consciousness into the 10-star sea, but the demonic sound sect had already prepared and blocked this area. Even the heavenly monarch's consciousness could not penetrate, and could only faintly sense the continuous outbreak of the 10-star sea. True Monarch Bailey, what the hell are you demonic sect doing? Could it be some kind of conspiracy? A powerhouse in the half-step true spirit realm questioned Tianjin Bailey. While attacking, Zhenjin Bailey responded, "Hey, some thieves broke into the 10 Xinghai Sea, and even killed many of our heavenly monarchs, our demonic sect must kill them." Oh, if the entire demon sound sect can be dispatched, the enemy must not be weak. Who is it that deserves such a big fight from the demon sound sect? A group of Tianjin and Banbu Junling were curious. No comment, Zhenjin Bailey responded coldly. He dare not say that the enemy is the Daozi of Wanfa, because there are Tianjins of the Zushan lineage or even half-step true spirits outside. If he said it, the Zushan lineage would definitely come in. In that case, they can't do anything about Yi Tian, and the secret here will be completely leaked out. As long as Yi Tian is dead, they will repair the formation of the secret place, and they will not be afraid of Xingchenjing being exposed. The injury is getting worse. Yi Tian frowned. According to this situation, no matter how much he can save his life, it will be difficult for him to persevere. Immediately, he shattered the countless healing treasures in the universe within his body, and he channeled healing energy into his body one after another to help him repair his body. In this case, he will be able to hold on for a lot longer at least. Of course, this method is too wasteful of resources and pays a high price. But as long as you collect enough star crystals, all the price is worth it. Time went by day, finally allowing Yi Tian to harvest 20 star crystals again. Yi Tian looked at the remaining large number of star crystals, and immediately showed greed and desire, but immediately his eyes were firm, and he gave up with gritted teeth. I have to go, or I'm afraid I'm going to die here. Yi Tian muttered. The great world moves, go. Yi Tian exploded all his power, blasting out a ray of spatial fluctuation, and immediately the great realm moved this chaotic supernatural power, and Yi Tian shuttled away. The formation and ban of the demonic sound sect can ban the general spatial chaotic supernatural power, and can even ban the time-space movement technique, but it cannot ban the movement of the great world. Dajiajuo is known as the strongest escape supernatural power. Is it a vain name? As long as Yi Tian cannot be killed, Yi Tian CJFI cannot be prevented from leaving. When Yi Tian used the great realm to move away, true monarch Bailey went crazy, roaring and shaking the endless void. The great world moves, how can he move the great world? True monarch Bailey couldn't believe it. Knowing that Yi Tian could escape, they would definitely pay a heavy price to seal Yi Tian completely. It's just that they were afraid of Yi Tian's immortality and never put out fire, worried that a large number of heavenly monarchs would fall, so they chose to consume Yi Tian to death. But in fact, they paid a heavy price to seal Yi Tian with confidence. However, one step is wrong. Yi Tian escaped, they have no way to hunt down. Universe, some small world. Yi Tian appeared here, and suddenly heaved a sigh of relief. He didn't care about the injury on his body. He hurriedly returned to the Zushan temple, and then summoned other heavenly monarchs in the name of Wanfa Daozi, and even summoned the moon-swallowing heavenly monarch who ranked third on the heavenly sovereign list. Soon after, these heavenly monarchs came back one after another, and even the moon-swallowing heavenly monarch sent an avatar to come. As for the deity of the moon-swallowing heavenly monarch, he guarded the ancient sea world of the treasure land. Wanfa Daozi, what are you calling us to do? Tianjin moon-swallowing was a little unhappy. After all, he guards the sea world, and Guan Chenshou, for a heavenly monarch like him, the most important thing at present is to increase the background, recharge in the real spirit realm. If there are no big things, I don't want to worry about trivial things at all. But Yi Tian was the Daozi of Zushan's lineage, and he didn't want to offend, so he came here. But if Yi Tian had nothing to do and summoned indiscriminately, he would not have a good tone. Seeing that the heavenly monarchs are almost here, Yi Tian said, I'm talking about the big thing about the 10 star seas of the demonic sound sect. 1. Ten Xinghai. Wanfa Daozi, do you know what happened to Ten Xinghai? Peng Yu Tianjin asked curiously. He was just overseas at Ten Xinghai, and was very curious about the situation in Ten Xinghai, but he did not dare to rashly fight with the demonic sound sect, so he did not break into the demonic sound sea. Of course I know, not long ago, I was besieged by a large number of heavenly monarchs and half-step true spirit powerhouses in the Ten Xinghai sect, and I was besieged for a full month. If it wasn't for my strong life-saving means, I would have perished. Yi Tian said, Wanfa Daozi, do you want us to avenge you? This is a big thing. The power of the demonic sect in the universe is not weaker than us, even a little stronger than us. Moon-swallowing Tianjin frowned. Tianyu Tianjin, don't you wonder why I was besieged by the people of the demonic sect, even at the expense of the entire sect? Yi Tian said with a smile. What is the reason? Moon-swallowing Tianjin was also curious. He is not stupid, he was only disturbed by his emotions before, but now he thinks about it carefully. Yi Tian is the Daozi of Wanfa, and even if he broke into the 10-star sea, the demonic sound sect would not dare to surround and kill Yi Tian rashly. It's not like killing a Taoist just for a little bit of Xingquanxia. The other heavenly monarchs were also curious, waiting for Yi Tian's answer. What if I say that the value of 10 Xinghai is far more than 10 million points, but hundreds of millions of points? Yi Tian Lang Road. Chapter 919. The Tianjin army is coming, and the star crystals are allocated. Second. Countless billions. The many heavenly monarchs in the Zushan temple were a little confused, and even suspected that they had heard it wrong, or that Yi Tian had made a slip of the tongue. Wanfa Daozi, you just said that there are hundreds of millions. Moon-swallowing Tianjin whispered. Not bad. Yi Tian said solemnly. The value of 10 Xinghai is unimaginable. Xingqian sand is just one of the most common treasures in 10 Xinghai. There are also star crystals in the center of 10 Xinghai, and there are a lot of star crystals. Saying that, Yi Tian took out a fist-sized star Chenjing. This piece of star crystal is worth at least more than 1 million, and even when the star crystal is scarce, some people will buy it if it sells 2 million points. This is the star crystal that I robbed from the 10-star sea, and this is only the smallest one. Yi Tian said. You can imagine how valuable that large number of star crystals are, and even a person-tall star crystal, light it's that piece of star crystal, at least worth hundreds of millions of virtual sky points. Yu Tianjin listened to Yi Tian's description, all eyes were red, it was red, and he could not wait to enter the Sea of 10 Stars immediately. At this time, Peng Yu Tianjin also understood why the demonic sound sect had so strangely mobilized the forces of the entire sect to enter the 10-star sea. This was because he did not want Wan Fadouzi to leave and Xingchenjing to leak. At the same time, he was also curious, how did Yi Tian escape? It stands to reason that after the entire demon sound sect joins forces to besiege and kill, even the moon-swallowing heavenly monarch will definitely be killed in an instant. He knows that Yi Tian's life-saving ability is strong, but he can't compete with so many heavenly monarchs, right? Wan Fadouzi, we will enter the 10-star sea. Moon-swallowing Tianjin said excitedly. At this time, his body came out of the ancient sea world. As for whether something will happen to Jiu Haiji, he doesn't care at all. What is the ancient sea world? It is worth 1,000 points at most, and it is not entirely his. In addition, the resources of the ancient sea world cannot be mined all at once, and it even takes a certain amount of time to cultivate, which is far worse than the 10-star sea. If you can get some star crystals in 10 Xinghai, you will make a lot of money. Don't worry, our Zushan temple can't eat the star crystals of the 10 Xinghai Sea, and more importantly, the most precious treasure in the 10 Xinghai Sea is not the star crystals. Yi Tian said quickly. Aren't star crystals the most precious treasure? Moon-swallowing Tianjin and the others were stunned. 10 Xinghai has star DZI beads. Yi Tian said. Really? The moon-swallowing heavenly monarch showed an incredible look and asked. Really, I saw it with my own eyes, but the star DZI has not been fully conceived, and it will take time. Besides, we can't take away the star DZI. Think carefully, the 10 Xinghai that contains the star DZI, then what kind of treasure? If we attack 10-star sea, the news will leak. At that time, if we want to take it all alone, we will endure the siege of countless forces in the entire universe, who can stop it? Yi Tian asked. Can't stop. Moon-swallow Tianjin shook his head. Although he is third on the Tianjin list, his strength is not as good as some of the top half-step true spirits. For example, those half-step true spirits who have been promoted to the top of the Tianjin list, he can't beat those people. Moreover, how many great forces are contained in the entire universe? The combined strength of these forces is terrifying, even if the Temple of Void Heaven is 10 times stronger, it cannot stop it. If it is announced, at least we can share some more star crystals in the Zushan Temple. In addition, we must tell our ancestors, after all, the star DZI beads are too involved, and that thing can be worth a Taoist weapon. 1. Yi Tian said. The heavenly lords nodded in agreement. The value of the star DZI bead is indeed too much, even the ordinary Taoist ancestors will be moved. For the true ancestors, it is a supreme treasure, enough to make them work hard. Subsequently, Yi Tian used the unique communication treasure of the Zushan temple to contact the Zushan lineage in the chaos, and informed the Taoist ancestors of the general situation. Soon after, Shu Tian Daozu personally issued a designation. Fight. Although Daozu cannot participate, he can withstand the pressure in the chaos at the critical moment, and will not let the major forces unite against the Zushan lineage. If these big forces do not obey the rules and jointly deal with the Zushan temple, then the Zushan temple will not even be able to get a single star crystal. Next, the Zushan temple actively contacted the major forces, and the top forces such as the Tower of the God of War, Kishan Temple, Pantheon Sect, Immortal Gate, Mercenary Alliance, Giant Axe City, and Chaos Trading Company learned about Xingchen Crystal and Xingchen Ji. For a time, the major top forces sent a large number of Tianjin to the 10 Xinghai. The densely packed heavenly sovereign is like an army pressing down on the realm, and the terrifying coercion makes all the heavenly sovereigns of the 10-star seas tremble. With so many heavenly sovereigns, one round of attack is enough to destroy the demonic sound sect. They can't stop it at all. Everyone, what do you mean? Bailey Zhenjin questioned. He was sweating all over, and he had already guessed it in his heart, but he was still a little unwilling in his heart, still looking forward to a miracle. At this time, a giant holding a 10-meter giant axe appeared in front of True Monarch Bailey. He was the half-step true spirit powerhouse of Giant Axe City, Mad True Monarch. Crazy True Monarch is very powerful. He has entered the 9th place on the Heavenly Sovereign ranking before, and now he is a half-step True Spirit Realm powerhouse, and the fusion of True Spirit and physical body has reached 50%. And Bailey Zhenjin only merged 30%, the strength gap between the two sides is huge. In addition, Giant Axe City is not an ordinary top power, but a top power that is stronger than Zushin's lineage. It is said to have 6 great ancestors. Ancestor of Heavenly Tao is even stronger, and he will shake the chaos for endless years. True Monarch Bailey, there are star crystals and star DZI beads in the 10 Xinghai, and your demonic sound sect can't monopolize them. Crazy True Monarch said coldly. True Monarch Bailey's face turned pale, and the most worrying situation happened. When Yi Tian was engraved, you worried that Yi Tian would reveal the information. But he still yearns for a situation, that is, Yi Tian does not leak the news. Maybe Yi Tian will want to monopolize this information so that he can get more star crystals in the future. In this way, he has enough time to collect the star crystals, and even let the Taoist ancestors of the demonic sect pay a huge price to send an invincible emperor who has cultivated the Starlight Extinction Hand to the extreme level. In this way, they can collect a large number of stars in a short period of time. At that time, even if the news is exposed, even if they are oppressed by the major forces, they will not care. However, all came to nothing. Yi Tian didn't want to hide the information at all, he said it all, and even attracted the top forces. They can't keep Xingqianjing. True Lord Crazy, Xingqianjing and Xingqianji were discovered by us and belong to our demonic sound sect. Isn't it too much for you to snatch our treasures? Bailey Zhenjin gritted his teeth. One word, get out of the way, or the demon sect of destruction. Crazy True Monarch said coldly. Kill. Countless heavenly sovereigns have come with murderous intentions, and they don't want to talk nonsense at all. As long as True Monarch Bailey refuses to say the next word, they will definitely go in without saying a word. For flowers, how precious are star crystals, and how precious is the sea of 10 stars with a large number of star crystals. If they get a little benefit, they will earn it, and even the resources of a long time can be collected. In this case, if the demonic sound sect dares to stop them, they will dare to go all out. That's it. Bailey Tianjin gave a wry smile and ordered the other Tianjin to withdraw from the formation. At this point, they have been completely unable to keep Xingqianjing. If they resisted, they would probably be killed. Boom. After the great formation was withdrawn, Xingqianjing and Xingqianji couldn't hide it. The divine senses of the heavenly monarchs detected the situation on the bottom of the sea in the central waters of the 10-star seas, and the densely packed star crystals were too dazzling. Moreover, the star DZI bead that is being nurtured in the center has attracted everyone's attention. But soon, they didn't care about the star DZI. The star DZI is indeed far more than other star crystals, but they can't take it away, unless it is an invincible true monarch who has cultivated the star chaotic supernatural power to the extreme level, can take a long time to take away the star crystals, and others can even shake it. Can't do it at once. 0. On the contrary, Xingqian crystal, although it is difficult to take away, at least it can be taken away. With so many great forces, there are always a few Tianjin who can take away the star crystals. When the time comes, everyone will work together to take away the star crystals first, and then distribute them slowly. In this way, all the major forces can obtain astonishing gains. Who is sure to take out the star crystal? Mad Lord asked. At this time, the major forces successively stood up some heavenly sovereigns, including Yi Tian. 6 heavenly sovereigns. The crowd was extremely surprised. With so many great forces, there are only 6 heavenly monarchs who are sure to take out the star crystals, which shows how difficult it is to take out the star crystals. Swish! The heavenly monarchs of the demonic sound sect stared at Yi Tian with murderous eyes, wishing to destroy Yi Tian. If Yi Tian hadn't leaked the secret, their demonic sound sect would not have lost Xingqian crystal and Xingqianji. It can be said that Yi Tian is undoubtedly their enemy, and it is an endless relationship. If they can kill Yi Tian, they will do it without hesitation. Yi Tian noticed the gazes of these demonic sound sect heavenly monarchs, but didn't care at all. Please 6 heavenly monarchs to take out the star crystals. Mad Heaven, allocate the shares of the major forces first, otherwise, after taking out the star crystals, if they fight because of the star crystals, it will be bad. A half-step true spirit powerhouse from the god of war pagoda suggested. Can. Agree. 1. Agree. The major forces have agreed. Then there was a heated discussion on the allocation of Xingqianjing shares, and the major forces did not want to give in. This discussion lasted more than a month. In the end, because of the information shared by the Zushan Temple, and the fact that Yi Tian of the Zushan Temple was one of the 6 people who collected the star crystals, he got a relatively large share, with a full 6% share. So many star crystals, even if only 6% of the share, its value is unimaginable. And the demonic sound sect also gained a share. After all, Xingqianjing originally belonged to them. If they did not give it at all, it would offend the demonic sound sect. The demonic sound sect also has Taoist ancestors, and there are several. If they cannot offend, they still do not want to offend. After the allocation of shares was over, the 6 heavenly monarchs began to use the chaotic supernatural powers of the stars, taking out the star crystals little by little. Chapter 920 Number 1 on the Tianjin ranking. Third. There are too many star crystals, especially some big ones. It takes a long time for Yi Tian to take them out, even in years. Fortunately, Yi Tian and others are heavenly monarchs, so time is nothing to them. Many heavenly sovereigns could not wait and did not leave, they have been waiting silently in the sea of 10 stars. In the blink of an eye, 3,000 years have passed. After such a long time, Yi Tian and the others finally brought out all the star crystals, and Yi Tian was undoubtedly the one who contributed the most. Because Yi Tian has cultivated the starlight and extinguishable hand to the perfect state, he can easily take out the fist-sized star crystals in the later stage, and it doesn't take much time at all. It is because of Yi Tian's help that so many star crystals can all come out in 3,000 years, otherwise it will take tens of thousands of years at least. Looking at so many star crystals, Yi Tian estimated the value. At least worth 300 billion points. Yi Tian secretly said in his heart. 300 billion points, what an unimaginable wealth. Before, so much wealth belonged to the Demon Sound sect, and the Demon Sound sect at that time must have been extremely ecstatic, but now I am afraid that the heartache will be to death. This is also to blame for the lack of perseverance of the Demonic Sound sect at the beginning. If they did not hesitate to cultivate a group of heavenly sovereigns who knew the chaotic supernatural powers of stars, and took out the star crystals at the fastest speed, then there would not be much loss. It is a pity that they believe that the news will not be leaked. Although they are also cultivating heavenly sovereigns with chaotic magical powers, these heavenly sovereigns are either at the entry-level chaotic magical powers, or the power of the chaotic magical powers is too low to take out the stars, crystal. At this time, the heavenly monarchs of the Zushan Temple are also estimating how many star crystals they can get. According to the previous agreement, the Zushan Temple can get 6% of the share, which is worth at least 16 billion points. For Zushan Temple, what does 16 billion represent, and what kind of wealth is that? I am the 3rd Tianjin on the Tianjin list. I have a very high status in the Zushan Temple. At least I can get several 100 million points. Tianjin Tianyu thought to himself. Hundreds of millions of points. Although he has a lot of points, he has never had so many points. Moreover, this time, he didn't pay any price at all, and he didn't even experience the battle. He just came here and waited, and he could get so many points. Thinking of this, he glanced at Yi Tian and felt grateful in his heart. All this is due to Yi Tian. Before, he had some grudges against Yi Tian, but now everything is gone, only gratitude and respect are left. Subsequently, the major forces began to allocate star crystals, and no one dared to break the rules, otherwise they would be attacked by other forces. This is not something that any force can withstand. Not long after, all the major forces obtained their own share of star crystals, and the major forces were extremely happy, only the Demon Sound sect had a wry smile and helplessness, even resentment. Go back, Yi Tian shouted. The celestial monarchs of the Zushan Temple returned to the Zushan Temple one after another, and then it was time for the celestial monarchs of the Zushan Temple to distribute the star crystals. This time, Yi Tian deserved the most credit, and naturally he should have obtained the most star crystals. No one else dared to refute this, and no one dared to disagree. Even the moon-swallowing heavenly monarch, as well as several half-step true spirit realm powerhouses, did not have any refutation. Star crystal with 3 billion points. This was Yi Tian's share, and the other half-step true spirit realm powerhouses, moon-swallowing heavenly monarch, Pengyu heavenly monarch, and others basically got more than 100 million points. That is to say, all Tianjin list Tianjin can get more than 100 million points, while some weak Tianjin can only get a few million points or tens of millions of points at most. Even if there was only so much, they were extremely excited. In addition, Yi Tian and others also took out 1 billion points as a reward for the gods. As long as these gods make breakthroughs or make great contributions, they can get these points. The 3 billion points, plus the star crystals I got before, are worth at least 100 million. This time, I got a total of at least 3.1 billion points. Yi Tian was very excited. He also thought about occupying all those star crystals before, but it was not realistic at all. The longer the time dragged on, the greater the change. Moreover, the demonic sound sect is all located inside the 10-star seas, and he probably won't even be able to do an invasion next time. If the demonic sound sect is given enough time, they will do whatever it takes to cultivate the heavenly sovereign who has the chaotic supernatural powers of stars, and can definitely take away the star crystals. At that time, he may not even get a single star crystal. Now this situation is also quite good. He lost most of the star crystals and gained a small amount of star crystals. So many resources are enough for him to cultivate for a long time. It can even be said that the resources of the Tianjin realm are basically accumulated. Next, we will exchange resources with star crystals and start cultivating frantically. Yi Tian muttered. In the days that followed, the great universe was very chaotic, and the dark god would begin to assassinate some heavenly monarchs. The cause is naturally Xingqianjing. The Dark God Society did not participate in the 10 Xinghai affairs, so they did not get the star crystals, but the value of the star crystals is so high, they naturally want them. So, they attacked those heavenly monarchs and robbed them of their star crystals. In addition, some loose cultivators also secretly took action, such as Zero. Zero beheaded some heavenly monarchs and obtained a lot of star crystals, causing the anger of the major forces. Many powerhouses in the half-step true spirit realm besieged Zero, but they still can't do anything about Zero. But later, the major forces signed an agreement with Zero, so that Zero was not allowed to take action, otherwise they would kill him at all costs. A forbidden place in the universe, on a majestic snow mountain. Zero, who made everyone shiver in the outside world, was here, holding some star crystals in his hand, and he couldn't help showing joy. Xingqianjing, I'm lucky, I lost the eternal flame last time, which made my body unable to reach the ultimate, but Xingqianjing can be a substitute. Once the physical body reaches the ultimate, I can condense to the high true spirit, then my strength will be it's bound to skyrocket. Zero muttered. Suddenly, killing intent flashed in his eyes. Wanfa Daozi, the last time you captured my eternal flame, when I stepped into the half-step true spirit realm, I would definitely kill you. Before, he thought that the person who captured his eternal flame was the heavenly monarch of the Dark God Society, and killed several heavenly monarchs of the Dark God Society, but the demonic sound sect sold out Yi Tian's information not long ago. Yi Tian will never put out fire and move the great realm. What does this mean? Yi Tian has refined the eternal flame and will move the great realm again, which is completely consistent with the mysterious heavenly monarch that day. Although this time, it was Yi Tian's credit for the disclosure of the demonic sound sect's Xingqianjing, but his Xingqianjing was snatched by himself, and it was not given to him by Yi Tian, so he would not be grateful to Yi Tian. Retreat. After exiting, kill Wanfa Daozi. Zero cold voice. Yi Tian didn't know about Zero's situation, but even if he knew, he wouldn't be afraid. A mere Zero, not qualified to make him panic. At this time, Yi Tian has obtained a huge amount of resources. With points, what resources can't be bought? His practice is almost smooth all the way. The 9th level entry level of the Xuanshuju started at the peak, and it progressed step by step, moving towards a higher level. The 9th floor is small. The 9th floor is complete. After Yi Tian spent hundreds of thousands of years, Yi Tian finally cultivated the 9th level of Xuanshu art to the perfect state. At this stage, the destiny chapter of Xuanshuju has also been completely completed. Xuanshuju also has a chapter of true spirit, but if there is no condensed true spirit, then there is no way to start practicing. Therefore, in terms of the physical body, Yi Tian has almost reached the pinnacle, but he has not yet reached the true pinnacle. He can still use some treasures to continue refining until he cannot refine it. Of course, no matter how he tempered it, he could only slightly increase it by 5.8. After all, he was already approaching the limit infinitely. In addition, Yi Tian's soul and chaotic divine power, driven by the Xuanshu art, are also very close to the limit level, but they can still be improved a lot. Next, let's comprehend the chaotic supernatural powers, focusing on comprehending the 4 chaotic supernatural powers of eternal immortality, time and space shifting, great world shifting, and blood river immortality. Yi Tian muttered. His transcendence talent has been raised to the super god level, and his comprehension is very defying, far exceeding that of the barbarian ancestor. Therefore, in terms of understanding, no one can match him. With such a terrifying understanding, Yi Tian easily realized the blood river immortality technique to the extreme level, which was also his first extreme chaotic supernatural power, which only took him hundreds of thousands of years. Next, Yi Tian cultivated eternal immortality to the extreme level, which took more than 800,000 years. A door of chaotic supernatural powers have been cultivated to the extreme realm. Yi Tian's strength has completely surpassed other heavenly sovereigns, and even surpassed Zero, becoming the number one of the new heavenly sovereigns. But not long after, the ranking of Zero disappeared from the Tianjin list. Everyone knows that Zero has become a half-step true spirit,